It is a pleasure to be here in that video after a while. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Arvanauts, to a Saturday night stream. It is January 27th, 2024. It is about 7:52 p.m. Eastern on this day in the year of our Lord, etc., etc. And welcome, everyone, to day 22 of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, Shadows and Twilight. I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to a fun session as we finally, it's been a little bit over a month since we've been in this campaign, so we are back into it. The first expedition of the new year. Before we go any further, just a couple of quick reminders about ways to support the channel. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Check out the YouTube with exclamation point ArvTube. And if you are over on my YouTube channel right now watching, thank you. I hope you are enjoying things. And please follow us not just there, but come over to the Twitch channel where you can hang out with us there. Please check out our Discord channel, exclamation point ArvCord, to hang with the Arvanauts in between streams. Twitter is exclamation point ArvTweets. Blue Sky, exclamation point ArvSky, website arvanelloron.com. Financially, exclamation point ArvShop is the merchandise area, which does have a bunch of stuff and is going to have Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks when we get the last character images and stuff done, which are almost there. I've been promising that for a while, and I think we're almost there now. The already do have, however, Eberron, Oracle of War stuff. We have Shire Adventures. We have just general channel merchandise there. So cool swag for you, plus it supports the channel. The Patreon is exclamation point ArvTreon. That's what allows me to have the money to be able to commission amazing videos and music like what it is that you just saw. So please do support us there. You also get inspirations to help our players, custom and things like that. I can also like epic poems written for you and stuff like that, depending on the tier you support. So please do that. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. That you can also get those custom sub badges and emotes there as well, so that's always appreciated. A reminder today that all cheers going on during this session will go directly to our players. So if you officially cheer in Twitch, not just, you know, cheer, like put in the word, but actually send in the command cheer, that money is going to go to the players. So please consider doing that if you like what it is that you are seeing. I have no doubt you will. On the publishing side, exclamation point Icarus, my graphic novel from Athos Arts. Exclamation point Library is my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and source book, and I want to thank everyone who made it out last night to the live event at the Klein, which went very well. I hope that folks who were watching it either live there or who were watching it on the live stream enjoyed it. I'm sorry that it was not able to maintain on my channel. I had warned everybody that I could not babysit, and you have to babysit because of the incredibly advanced Twitch mobile app, grumble grumble. But anyway, fortunately, the Klein live stream was pristine, and if you're interested and you missed it, you can still get it if you go to the Klein link, and you'll still be able to watch it. So if you were like, man, I wish I could have seen Zach Clay live on stage, you can still do that if you go over and check out the Klein website so you can get that information. But thanks to everybody who was there. We're hoping we can have another one of those in the not too distant future. But again, that was Return to the Forbidden Library, and those adventures can be found in Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, which is from Alligator Alley, the sponsor of this particular campaign. Last, exclamation point Greyshade, that's my Grey Assassin trilogy from Athos Arts. Greyshade and Renegade are already out. In fact, Renegade I have just put up for Hugo Noms. I'm hoping that perhaps people will take a look at that book. The final book in the series is called Heretic. I'm working on that now. That'll be out summer this year. You can pre-order it for right now, coming out this year. You can buy those other two books. You can buy the tabletop, you can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game, again from Alligator Alley with Brandon O'Brien as the lead developer. That'll be coming out late this year. And you can also get the audiobook of Greyshade from our very own Trent Sparks. You can get that right now at that exclamation point Greyshade link. Last but certainly not least, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Exclamation point Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. An exclamation point Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war, and send the message that we will do so for others in this situation in the future. Quick programming note, I will be on Tuesday at noon Eastern for the Patreon-fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month. I might even be able to convince a certain friend of mine to sit in and take a look at that stream. That is possible. And then I will be playing some Tintin Reporter Cigars of the Pharaoh over on GOG.com. That's going to wrap up the month of January, and then we're going to be looking forward to a busy and fun February to come. But tonight we are on Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, and so I am going to unmute myself and apologize unreservedly to whoever I might have interrupted because I couldn't hear them. And then I'm going to unmute them, and then I'm going to reveal something. Now get ready for this, chat. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, we've had a, wait a minute. All right, let me do this first. I'll fix that other part. So that is this crew. Now you can see this is actually, I'm just reaching across the coast. This is me, that's Callie. This is me, that's Callie. But no, Zach, of course, is here. Zach was here for the Klein event. So Zach is here in person, in studio, as it were.
I am.
And we will be joined by Johnny shortly. Many fingers crossed. We'll be joined by Johnny shortly, who will be there, Video Store Cowboy, with Fob. Sorry, not with Fob, with Titus. I was looking at Kat when I was saying Johnny. With Titus Littlefoot. But we will come back to that when actually Johnny shows up. In the meantime, I'm going to happily welcome the rest of the crew here, and I will start with Toya and Kristen Finley, who is with us. Toya, it's good to see you. I hope you are doing okay and hanging in there. How is life and the universe and all such things with you? And who are you playing today?
Great, because I'm slightly busy now as in work. So
that's a good thing. Yeah.
That's a very good thing.
Yes.
It was extremely snowy and icy last week, and now it's very rainy. So, you know, it's just natural. I am playing a human bard, Nals Darkly, otherwise known as Nalik today. And she is not as useless in battle as she used to be. So I am looking forward to that.
It is going to be a good time. Not that you're all going to be starting in a battle. I mean, that's not, you know,
totally
why would that be the case? So it is a great pleasure, of course, to have Toya with us, and we will be talking more about Nals in just a little bit. But first, also a great pleasure to have Kat Rambo back with us. So, Kat, I actually don't think I've seen you since last year, so Happy New Year, believe it or not, still.
Yeah.
And how are you doing? How is life in the universe with you? And who are you playing today as we settle back into Expedition?
I am doing well. For people that have been watching my Twitter stream, my kittens are now 6 months old, so they're half grown.
Very nice.
I am playing Fob, a lizard person rogue who is reasonably effective in battle.
Underselling just a tad. Underselling just a tad. Okay, there we go. There's my cams only with everybody. All right. Good. Well, it is a pleasure to have Kat back with us, and it is also a pleasure to have this guy right here, Zach Clay, who has arrived and is present, and is there in bright, shining purple color.
Yes.
So hi, Zach. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
How's life? You done anything important lately? Last couple of days? Traveled anywhere?
No, haven't traveled anywhere. Okay. Just here on the other coast of the country, just miraculously, you know, after a few trains, planes, and automobiles, literally. And anyway, yeah, no, I'm here in person in Connecticut, the opposite coast from usually where I am. I touched the Pacific Ocean when I left this past Wednesday, and then I touched the Atlantic when I arrived. And very happy to be here. We just did our live D&D event at the local Klein Theater, which was amazing, a lot of fun, and all sorts of other things like this, where tonight, in person, in the... What's your name for your office?
This is Wind Coast Studios.
In Wind Coast Studios. That's so cool. I am playing Dr. Jaraxxus, a cybermancer, a Dendis cybermancer, actually. And you can probably turn your camera back to just you, since I'm using the other one.
Yeah, I think
they can't see me, but whatever.
That's why I was doing it. Well, you could see him on the edge. It's
perfect.
It's all good. There, see?
Yes.
Everyone's good.
Great.
Yes. Also, quick note, chat, is how is Zach's audio? Because we have the second mic set up for Zach. So can everyone hear Zach okay? I hope so, because so Zoom can hear him, can chat hear him. Can we, yeah?
Hello, Kieran. Hello, Ibrahim. Crit Twitch. Do I sound wonderful and beautiful?
You should be getting like good stuff.
Hopefully.
Thumbs up from Crit Twitch. All right.
Great.
Listen, if Crit Twitch says it,
then,
listen, you can take that to the bank.
All right? Twitch legend, Crit Twitch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Living legend, Crit Twitch. All right. Well, so we are ready to go. Let's talk a little bit about what happened in our last session. And we are going to fire this up with, wait for it, just a little bit of... There we go. A little bit of combat music. because that's actually where we find ourselves. The crew has descended into, or has, I guess I should say, has been teleported to the Veiled Realm of Celis, a place which is strange and constantly starlit by the luminescent sight of moss and crystals from the underground realm. They have been here for just a little bit over a day, but as is typical with this group, there's a lot going on, and that is partially because they have come here seeking help. There's a lot of problems going on in the world upstairs. The land of Camria has the Primarch, who is possibly under control of someone else, but at least is acting in a very strange way. And so the party has basically been being hunted down by servants of the Primarch to answer for what they did in escaping the upper realms and having escaped from them after having watched Elu Whisperwind's brother murdered in front of them. It was not a good scene. The party managed to make their way down. That's probably a little bit too loud. Let me drop that down. I was just so anxious that we not miss that music. All right, that's probably better. Sorry about that. The party, so that was part of the reason that they're here. Of course, the other part of the reason is that Titus and Dr. Jaraxxus are making every effort to try to find the reason that they came here in the first place, this beacon that has been activated aboard what must be this crashed ship. They don't know where the ship is exactly or the significance of that ship, but they know that it is almost certainly somewhere near or associated with a very large source of Sorium, at least an energy source that seems very similar to that. That's what brought them here in the first place, but now, of course, things have gotten a lot more complicated. Their ship, the Sunrider, crashed when they landed, and so they also are trying to figure out how they can get off the planet again when they actually need to do that. And so, banding together, two members of that crew, Titus Littlefoot and Dr. Jaraxxus, and two members of the crew which escaped the upper realms, Nals Darkly and Fob, have come together in an effort to try to find out how to stop the Primarch and to find information about this ship. The problem is that Celis, the Veiled Realm, has issues of its own. Elu Whisperwind's parents live here, but there are major problems with a lot of the residents of this realm of Elisant, this city in Celis, going missing for no particular reason that anyone can ascertain. But it's a huge problem, and Celis is not in a position to help anyone else until they have this problem solved. So the party has agreed to take on that burden of searching and gathering information, and did so initially by going to interview some people. Bramblestalk, who is the basically the sheriff, the magistrate, you might say, of Justice Affairs, gathered some information about some places of some things that were missing, and one person that was missing was a character here known as Nialestri, the troop's one of the most talented artists in Elisant. So the party decided, having a lead, that they would go find out what that was about. They went to a place called Lotan Field in our last session, and they went to a place called the Karios Troop Gallery. They went in, they found a lot of these local artisans trying to sell their art, but they also found that much of that art did not have artisans to sell it, some of those artisans having disappeared. In fact, one of the artists, actually one of the people around, had apparently died under strange circumstances, and another one, this Nialestri, is missing entirely. But they did give the party a couple of clues. One, the Sanctum of Spirits, something that they knew Nialestri was very interested in going to and becoming a spirit caller, so the party wanted to find out more about that. Two, Nialestri's home, which they have not yet visited, and the party had just decided that they were going to go to Nialestri's home next to try to see if they could track down more clues about her disappearance. And they were doing this, incidentally, while Elu Whisperwind and her mother went to beg help of the leaders of Celis to try to get them to help the party with its needs at the same time. So the party went there, but as they were leaving the tent, after Dr. Jaraxxus had commissioned a piece of art, by the way,
yep.
As they were leaving the tent and heading off to where they had been told Nialestri's home could be found, three cloaked figures, one of them slightly taller than the other two figures, but three cloaked figures, one of whom was carrying, actually let me make sure if it was one of them or all of them. Let me see, it was one of them was carrying a dagger from the point of which was dripping something strange. Fob might be familiar with this, this sort of thing, had begun to attack. And so we ended literally as that combat was about to begin. So what I would like everyone to do is do that little thing we like to call rolling initiative, please.
Heck yeah, -1.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at that.
All right, what do we got?
3.
Let's see. All right, I'm going to put this over here so we can see that. Okay. Right. Okay, so we have
here,
the...
frantically looking for my character. Oh, there we go.
Okay. All right, so you said we've got a big old 3 out of Dr. Jaraxxus.
Yep.
Okay. From Nulls, we have a much more respectable 14.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. From Fob, we have a 5, which is actually the last time you were in combat. You also had a 5. So that was
there. I'm consistent.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, that's just you're always there at the same. You arrive precisely when you mean to, as it were.
And this 13 is for Titus.
Okay, I will check on that in just a second. Thank you. Okay, so that 13 was for Titus, you said. All right. 13. Right, and the other guy... Man, everybody rolled. No one rolled super well. I think everyone was surprised by everything. Okay, so great. Fob, what is your raw dexterity, please?
18.
Okay. I had a feeling that would be the case, but I was just curious. Okay.
Nice.
Lovely. Okay. So... Well, it's not every day that with a group of this many combatants that we have... Oh, wait, I do have to roll for... Before I say what I was about to say, let me roll for one of the person. And by person, I mean wolf. Right, okay. Yep, no, I can say what I was going to say. It is not every day that in a combat with this many combatants that we have somebody with a 14 actually be the top initiative in the round.
Wow.
But that is indeed the case. So you are Johnny on the spot, or in this case, Nulls on the spot. You're up, Nulls. What would you like to do?
So can you give me, again, the lay of the land and where everybody is standing?
Sure. So you are standing right now on the edge of the field, and I don't have a battle map for this, but the camp is basically over in this direction. So you are more or less, I would say, here. You're not too far from the shores of the lake, actually. And they have jumped out from behind one of these large mushrooms, basically, to attack you. And again, there are 3 of them. 2 of them all 3 are in cloaks. One is a little taller than the others. The tall one has this dagger from which something is dripping. The other 2 are carrying short swords. One of them has also a hand crossbow out. So they've got short sword in one hand, hand crossbow in the other. So that is what the current lay of the land looks like.
And like how close are they to everyone?
They are probably 30 feet away. Like, they just jumped out and you noticed them because of your passive perception, so you were not surprised. So
okay.
You could like close the gap and attack them this round if you wish. They're quite close.
So I am asking because I have Thunderwave now, which is an AoE.
Okay.
And I want to make sure I don't hit any of my party members.
Your way.
You could. I think you could probably stand in front. Thunderwave comes from you, as opposed to like a distance. So it starts from you, and then it's a 15-foot cube. So you would have to step up. They're about 30 feet. So if you basically ran forward about 15 feet, Nulls, and then used Thunderwave from there, you would be able to get all 3 of them in that group. But it also means you're out front, just so you know. But
Okay, sure. I'm also wondering because I've never gone first before, so this is very new to me. I'm assuming you can't ask something, and that would take an action, right? If I ask something.
Well, what do you mean?
If you talk,
like I'm guessing you're not the talking sort.
Oh, you could certainly ask something on your turn. They probably won't be able to. They won't respond to it in any meaningful way until their own turns. They might like sort of grunt at you. They could do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also,
yeah, that's what I figured. So,
Okay.
So I can hit all 3 of them with Thunderwave if I move up.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So let me see which one I'm going to use, because I actually have a level 1 and a level 2 version.
Yep. Right, it increases by 1d8 that damage for it on the second level.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I probably want to use the second. Correct.
How, Greg, how close are these 3 assassins to the water right now?
They came from the other way. So, there's Johnny.
Johnny's
arrived just in time for the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they came. So you folks are closer because you were coming up from the camp. So you're basically here.
Okay.
And they are here. So they're on the other side.
So I can't knock them in the water potentially?
No. Not unless you somehow like flip over them and go back the other way. But that's
Yeah.
Okay. So. Well, just knocking them back is decent enough, I suppose.
Okay, that sounds good. Actually, just give me 1 second whilst I capture, since we now have Johnny has joined us, so give me just 1 second.
Hi, Johnny.
So I can get Johnny in the mix.
Hey, Johnny.
There we go. There's that, and then I don't know if you remember this, but Johnny, we have a fight that we were in the middle of with a group of, presumably would-be assassins. You don't think this is a training exercise?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I mentioned my character sheet being up to date.
Yeah.
When I sent you guys the message that I'd be late.
Yep.
Because I knew that was coming.
Yes.
we just started, and I already rolled initiative for you. And it is Nalik's turn.
That is correct. So, yes. You rolled for your initiative. Titus, you had a 13. Nulls was up first, and then you. So, yes. And once we're done with this combat, you can introduce yourself properly, Johnny. So, Nulls, what would you like to do? Are you gonna do this Thunder Wave?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the Thunder Wave since I can hit all 3 of them. Correct?
Yes, you should be able to at the moment. Yep.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right, they're going to make a.
So you charge towards them and explode.
Okay. Let's see. DC 13. Huh, that's interesting. Okay, so one of them is okay. So the two smaller figures they do make their saves. The larger figure does not. What that means in terms of the effect of it is that I believe successful, they take half as much damage. So you're going to roll. You did this at second level, right, Nulls?
Yes, and it's 15. Okay,
so then we're talking about 15 total. All right. So 15 damage, which means they will both take 15. The bigger one will take 15 and will be knocked over.
Nice.
So lands on the ground. And the other two are going to take half that amount, but are not pushed. Okay, that is beginning things with a bang, or with a rumble, I guess.
With a rumble.
Good stuff, Nulls. So you walked up 15 feet, basically ran up 15 feet, which means you could still back off. Another.
Oh, I'm backing off.
Okay.
I ain't dumb. I'm backing off.
Okay. Sounds good. In that case, next up, Titus, is you. Now, again, as a reminder, 3 figures that jumped out from this, but literally behind a large mushroom, all cloaked, 2 of them smaller, each carrying a short sword and a hand crossbow, and 1 somewhat larger, also cloaked, carrying a dagger from which some liquid is dripping. That one has just been knocked prone by Nulls' spell.
Okay. And did I hear there mention of like water close by?
You were, yes, but not from them. You are actually on this side. Actually, if you look on the ping there, you are basically on this side, closer to the water. These ones jumped out from this large mushroom, one of these large mushrooms back here. So they're closer to the fungus, and you were closer to the water.
Lovely. Okay. And this is the first round of attack?
Yes, just started.
Okay. I am then going to let me double check this real quick. I'm going to use laser blasts on the closer of the 2 small figures.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So let me go ahead and do that.
Closer of the 2 small figures. Smaller figures.
And how about, what is that? How about a 13 to hit?
Okay, let's see. On the smaller ones, yes.
No, wait a minute. Yes, hold on just a second. Let me double check something here. Okay. It looks like... Yeah, it's rolling the damage, it looks like. Let me roll,
that's right.
Roll the attack real quick. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was like,
Yeah, so some of the things work with the Roll20 character sheet and some of them don't. Yeah, you know, how about a 6?
Yeah.
How's a 6 do?
They duck out of the way as it goes past, harmlessly over the water. Are you moving anywhere, Titus? Because you were all sort of walking next to each other, so Nulls is basically, you know, ran up and then came back and is probably right level with you at the moment. So you could go forward, you could back up.
What kind of cover do we have next to us, right? Or
Where you are, not much. In fact, you're kind of exposed to the water. There's some rock on the ground and a few sort of smaller mushrooms, but there's not a big one to hide behind unless you, like, you know, book it through the 2 of them and, like, dive into the fungal cover, but obviously that would provoke attacks and stuff.
All right, let's see what they do. I'm going to move laterally. I'm going to move to my right.
Okay.
And kind of separate us.
Okay.
To give them a separate target and see how they split themselves up.
Okay. You do that. As you slide over to the right, you hear this fierce growl, and your good friend, Gamork, goes running forward. And actually, the one that is, let me see, he's probably not going to go for the, well, is he going to go for the one on the ground?
Is the one on the ground prone?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, he probably would. That just seems too likely to do that. So, all right. So he is going to attempt to. Let's see what he can do about attacking those things. All right. He's going to get advantage on it, which is good because that first one would have missed, but the second one is not. Okay. So. Ooh. All right. Yeah, he tears into that guy with a will, who is probably not happy about the position that he's in. I would say that he would have to make a roll to avoid being knocked prone, except he already is prone. Could make it harder to be not prone at the moment, so Gamork has got him down and is dealing with him, which is good because now the bad guys go, or at least the smaller bad guys. So, let's see. So you had them move laterally. Or yourself move laterally, I mean Titus. I think what they're probably going to do is... Yeah. So the 2 of them, since you moved laterally, 2 of them are going to move up in a very obviously practiced way. And they're going to attempt to engage Nulls, who was the one that did the Thunder Wave a moment ago. And you can tell, Nulls, even though you're not, you know, like warrior type or anything of that sort, you've been in enough battles to know when groups have like fought together in the past, and these ones do that in this sort of organized way. So one of them is going to attack you, and and is going to do so twice with their short sword. Let's see. The second attack, I think, is going to miss with an 8, but does an 18 hit?
How would I know that part?
Is your AC 18 or less?
Is my AC?
Your armor class, the shield.
your armor class.
Oh yeah, it's 13. Yeah.
Okay. Only 13? Have we talked about this before? I bet it's
13.
Okay. All right. I think.
What is it? What is it supposed to be?
I would. Well.
I'll look.
Yeah, take a look. Either way, I think if it's 13, it's not going to be like 19. So I think we're
Right.
pretty safe on the 18. So, all right. So that means that it's going to hit you. Now the problem is that literally sort of feints. You're trying to, like, you have two of them that you're worried about, Nulls, and as you're trying to dodge one, the other's sword bites more deeply into your shoulder. Basically, the mechanical effect of this is that they're doing more damage to you because you are dealing with two of them at once.
Oh, fun.
Which I'm sure was just lovely. Okay, so that is going to be...
Yeah, it's just 13.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Wow.
What?
They just... Okay. 18 points of damage as this thing just absolutely slices into you.
Great.
So you are sitting at 6 points. Again, these are clearly highly
6
trained.
points.
18 points. You have 6 left because you have. Don't you? What do you have for?
My hit points are 31.
Oh.
What are everyone's hit points? I don't know why my notes are not updated. Then. What is everyone's hit points?
Tell us what order to go in, Greg.
Go ahead, Nulls first. So you have 31. You said
31.
Okay, so then you'd be 13, I guess. Titus, what are you at?
28.
Yeah, I must have just missed a level up. I don't understand this. That's weird.
We also we slept through the night.
No, I knew about the long rest. We confirmed that, but Fob, what do you have?
20.
Total?
Yes.
I thought you were at
That
21
seems.
to begin with, Fob.
I'm looking at my character sheet and it says 20. 20 current, 20 max.
Let's see. That seems right.
Okay. I don't know why I have this something else. And then Jaraxxus, Zach, what do you have for your...
21.
That is what I have.
Yep.
Very odd. Okay. All right. So I have everyone marked that way. Okay. So Nulls, you're at 13 then, out of 31. That was only one of the one's attacks. So this is the second. This is the second one's attacks. That clearly are attempting to press their advantage on you. Okay. That's ow. So that is. I think that's going to be probably 2 hits. That is 16. One's a 16 and one's a 22. So I think you said that both of those are hits.
So I'm basically dead, is what that means.
Well, it depends on what I roll. And then sneak attack. That is 21 points of damage.
So I'm dead. Cool.
You are unconscious. You're not dead. But you go down. And again, all of you saw this too. Just like, and just Null drops. That was, wow.
Mm-hmm.
They are clearly coordinated and part of this. Hey, Zeal Zaddy. Welcome, Zeal. Good to see you. I have been on Zeal Zaddy's, been fortunate to be on Zeal Zaddy's stream before. So good to have you, Zeal. Okay, so they have done their work, and then they prepare themselves for whatever's going to happen next. Fob, you're up. This situation has gotten bad very quickly.
It has, and I am going to move forward and stand over Nulls and
Okay.
Am I close enough if I'm standing there to hit anyone with my sword? Because if not,
Yes.
Okay.
You could hit either one of them. They're right there, so...
Okay, then I am going to hit them with my short sword.
Okay. And they're both about the same health, so...
Is an 11 hit?
I think you just attack with your short bow, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, let's try it with a short sword. Oh, that's a good. Thank you for catching that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and even better, a 10.
10, unfortunately, is not going to hit, I'm sorry to say.
Okay. And just trying to figure out what my best bonus actions are.
Is it take out cloaked figure, if you have that
Yeah.
bonus action?
Yeah, unfortunately I don't, but I am going to give myself a steady aim. No, I have moved this turn, so no, I can't do that. So I'm going to just
Okay.
Oh, I'm going to use my Hungry Jaws attack.
Ah,
Nice.
that thing has done
What
some
I'm
work
gonna
before.
do.
Yep.
Okay. So let's 15. Does that hit?
15 will hit. Yes, that will indeed.
And it's a bite damage. So, oh, here we go. 1d6 plus. For 5 points of damage.
Okay. All right. So the and the one that you do that to looks somewhat, slightly taken aback. I think might be fair to say.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also,
snarl
because you did
menacingly.
this with the bite, I would like you to make a perception check for me, Fob.
And Fob, don't you also like gain some sort of health or temporary
I
health
get
from biting?
2 hit points, I believe. I'll take a look.
Okay.
I rolled a 23 on perception.
Yeah. You notice in the one that you've bitten, I mentioned that they were sort of taken aback, but it gives you a chance to look up into the face of what is obviously another Twilight elf, like many of the people down here. But the eyes are odd. They seem slightly unfocused, Fob, as if they're not looking right at you.
Okay.
Something you might not have noticed if you had not chomped them in the shoulder right this second. You can file that away to do as you wish. I won't ask if you're going to move away because that would provoke an attack. I assume you're just going to stay over.
I'm snarling.
Yeah, that's what I figured. All right, well, the last bad guy is going to go. Fortunately for all of you in this scenario, there's a dire wolf on top of him that he's got to deal with. So he's not going to try to get up. He's just going to try to stab from Hell's Heart and so on. See if he can hit them. Gets 2 attacks from down there. Yeah, alright. So, let's see. That is going to... So, stabs does a certain amount of damage, and you all hear Gamork growl sort of more intensely than might normally be the case. You're not sure why, but that stab seemed to be more harmful than you might have otherwise expected. The good news, though, is that the cloaked figure is in no position to get up right now, so they're just going to stay where they are, and that's going to lead us to Dr. Jaraxxus. You can see that you've seen everything that's happened right now, but Nulls is down and in trouble.
That is very troubling. Gosh. Okay, I'm going to... I'm gonna cry as a bonus action.
Okay, that's a free action. You can just cry
Okay,
freely.
perfect, because I actually might have plans for bonus. There's things I want to do, but it might be better to just do this. So I'm gonna symbiote mark the...
Okay.
So there's a big one and 2 smaller guys.
Big one has Gamork on
Gamork
top of
on
him,
him.
and
Okay.
the other 2, one of them was just bitten by Fob.
Yeah. I'm gonna symbiote mark the one that has not been hurt yet
As much.
as much.
Okay, yep.
And I will cast the Sprite Beam cantrip.
A symbiont mark, crit twitch, or symbiont mark.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a hunter's mark in D&D, basically.
Exactly.
Right.
Or like a hex. And
Well,
actually,
well,
I get to hex.
it's a hex, really.
Yeah. I get to hex a specific ability score. Now, it only affects their ability checks. So I'll do strength.
Okay.
I guess.
Does it mean they have disadvantage on these checks?
On strength checks, yeah.
Okay, but not
not attack rolls, not saving
Got it.
throws. Yep.
Okay. All right.
And I'm gonna sprite beam. Ooh, or I could push. I'm gonna look up push real quick because I kind of want to get Nalik out of there. And I'm not a healer, but I can try to push her away. So push up to 10 feet away from me. So that. Ooh, and they also take some damage. So yeah, that's not gonna work as much.
We get Nulls out of there. But...
Take more damage, yes. All right, I'm just going to Eldritch Blast the guy that I just marked, or, you know, Sprite Beam, as it were. So let's see what we can do. Oh, and my to hit is better. That's a 15.
Yep, we'll hit.
Great. And that is going to do a D10. Just a regular, degular D10. 10 points of damage plus the D6 from the mark, so 3, so 13.
Wow. All right, that hits it a lot. He staggers back as you're hit by that. Looks particularly hurt. In fact, no, I won't. I'm not going to give you the same check I gave Fob just then, unless you want to run up and bite yourself. But is sort of thrown backwards by that. Are you moving anywhere?
Jaraxxus is going to move as close to the water as he can.
Okay. That now, be aware, you are up a little bit from the water.
Yeah.
So you, like, as you back up to the edge of that sort of thing that rolls down to the water, you're good with that?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, let me be 10 feet away from the water's edge, if that's possible.
Okay, we can do that. All right, that's going to bring us up to Nulls. Now, we have not had this opportunity, I think, Toya, to show you about the death saving rules. So the way this works is you are going to roll... you're going to roll a d20, and basically what you're trying to do is, if you get a 10 or above, it means it's a death save success. If you get a 9 or below, it is a death failure. 3 successes, and you are stable, so you won't continue to bleed out. 3 failures, and you are dead. If you roll a critical miss on this, then you get 2 failures, death save failures. But if you get a critical 20, then you actually not only are stable immediately, you also get a hit point. So you return to consciousness. So that's the way that this stuff works. And you can certainly ask for inspiration from chat if you would like.
Plus I have my own.
I don't think you can inspire yourself, though, on this.
Yeah, but I still have one left over from a long time ago that I've never used.
All right, you know what? I will allow that because I believe that's the one that's been sitting there that I said could hold over for a long time. So I'll give you that.
I didn't forget about it.
No, I'll allow you to use that. That's fine. You can do that.
Okay. So what exactly do I do?
So you're rolling just a d20, but you can do this at advantage. So you can roll the d20 twice, and you're looking for a 10 or better.
Why is Nalik getting advantage?
Because of an inspiration.
Okay.
This was one of those like long-lasting deals.
I wasn't sure if Nulls you're deciding to use it.
Oh, well, I mean, you don't have to. I just figured you might want to, you know.
Yeah, I should probably use it. Let's see here. Okay, I rolled it. I don't see it showing up.
I do not see it yet.
Did it appear in D&D Beyond, though?
No, I rolled it from my character sheet.
Right, but did it give you a result?
No, it says to everyone roll.
Oh, yeah, so click that.
Yeah. I've done it twice, and it still has not rolled.
Might be lagging.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know. I think Roll20's thing is okay.
Let me see if I can roll within Roll20.
Sure.
Kieran.
Where's the roll within Roll20?
If you look at the left bar, there's a little dice icon, and if you click on that, it'll give you all the types of dice you could ever want.
I'm used to seeing that, but I do not see it right now. When I click on the thing, it brings up all these text editor-like features.
Do you see like a task bar on the left, like a vertical task bar?
No.
Oh.
I'm not seeing what I'm used to seeing. I know what you're talking about, and it's not there.
Is there a little triangular arrow the top left of your screen?
Yes.
Okay, click that.
And so I've clicked on it, and then I have like, oh, there it is at the very bottom.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, they have the new. It's slick, but it's like new, and I had to kind of figure out where it was now too.
Yeah.
So I just click on this once.
So you click on the die icon, and then you're going to look for the D20, and you should be able to adjust. Let me just see. I think if you roll, yeah, you roll that, and it just rolls like the D20, which is all you need to do for this.
All right. All right.
Okay.
16.
16. Now you were rolling advantage on that, so go ahead and roll it again.
Yeah, there's a chance you pop up.
You could crit if you get a 20.
Nope.
Did not. Okay, but that's one success. Okay. So far, so good. One success.
And that everlasting inspiration is gone.
Yes, finally.
Oh no.
That's the real reason I agreed to, because I don't have to worry about remembering it anymore.
No.
Okay. So good. You have one success. Got to do 2 more to be stable, but also your companions can help too, and maybe even Titus will do something. We'll see. I was wondering if Titus, what Titus was feeling about it. Titus, speaking of which, it is your turn.
Is it? I didn't even notice. Let's start this off right. Okay. The first thing that Titus is going to do is going to activate his rig expansion rejuvenation.
Outstanding.
Right.
Tell us more about that.
I have one question for you, Greg.
Yes.
Well, I have one question for you as I read the description, but I'll start that. So, as an action, you can use your rig to forge a regenerative poultice, excuse me, that can restore a number of hit points equal to 5 times your engineering level. So that sounds about like 20.
Yes.
This feature can restore a creature to no more than half of its hit points maximum.
Okay.
You can't use this feature on an automation or construct. What I don't understand is it reusable as an action repeatedly, or is it a once per day kind of a thing? Because the documentation in the book and the documentation in Roll20 does not say anything specific about rejuvenation being like bound by like a number of uses per day.
So my guess is that this is not resuscitation, it's rejuvenation.
It's a feature of his engineering. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a feature of engineering. It's under the rig expansion for medics.
It's essentially like the cleric's channel divinity of preserve life. Yeah.
So that's usually done per day. Oh well, so the rig expansion, you can use your rig expansion feature. So where's the rig expansion? You have to finish a short or long rest to use your rig expansion again. So whenever you use a rig expansion of any kind, you would have to do a short or long rest to get it back. So this is a rig expansion, and thus you use it once for a short rest. Seems like a good time to use it, though, I would say.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So essentially, create this, and then how does it get administered? Is it administered by one of the drones of the expansion?
Yes.
Or is it?
So. And in fact, I would think so. And I would also think that given what you've all been told about being careful not to show off a bunch of tech, this is one of those ones where Titus is like, yo, we have a problem. So yes, absolutely.
She's dying here.
It's administered by drones. Absolutely. In fact, yes. Okay. In fact, I'm going to give you something as a benefit of this, Titus, because of that. I'll explain in a minute. So first you're going to administer that. So that means you said, so 20, it's just a flat number, right? Because of 5 times 4.
It's just a flat, it's 5 times whatever the air level is. So we're 4th level. Am I right about that? We're still only
you're still 4th level. That's correct.
Okay. All right. So whatever, I'm going to send everything that I have of that to Nulls, and it'll restore her up to half of her XP.
Okay, so that means that because she has 31, you start at 0, you'll be happy to know, Nulls. You don't have to start from -8. So that means that you will end up with 16 points. You're still prone, but you are unconscious, so you kind of are like, breath as you open your eyes to the world. I do want to note, though, Nulls, just be aware that that death success, the saves still remains, so when you get back up for the rest of the combat. So if you fall back down, you would have to again make either the number of successes or failures, but you keep that success that you have until the end of the combat. So just be aware of that. Hopefully you won't go down again, but I'm just saying.
So, but you said that Nulls is still unconscious?
No, you are no, you're conscious.
Okay,
you're
all
still
right.
prone, though. You're still on the ground.
Yeah, and, well, okay, I'm still on it. All right.
So you're still on the ground, but you're now awake. You can't move until your turn, but you're now awake. Titus, the thing I want to give you, though, Titus, that's important about this is, I would like you to make an insight check for me, and I'll explain why you're doing this in a minute.
I will be happy to, and then I'm going to use a bonus action.
Okay.
Insight check. Let's do this. How about a 17?
17. Here's the thing, Titus. You remember very distinctly, in fact, you asked a question about it once or twice, that they do not love, the people down there, the creatures down here, are not wild about tech. And when they see somebody using tech, they universally react negatively to it, which is why you were warned by the sprite servant, be careful when you use it. There is zero reaction from any of the three cloaked figures when you do this. They're just like, whatever. They don't react at all, which is really odd. And I'll just let you conjure with that information whatever you want to do with it. So, having said that, Titus, you do have a bonus action. What do you want to do?
Okay. So when Titus activates the rig, he kind of makes a motion, and these little, like, orbish drones just kind of move towards. They're very tiny, and they move towards Nulls and do the healing thing. And, you know, they'll slowly make their way back to the rig.
Okay.
Right. Where are the two smaller ones in relation to Nulls specifically?
They are standing about 5 feet away because they are facing a snarling lizard folk who has recently bitten one of them in the shoulder. So they're about who is standing almost over the body of Nulls, basically.
Okay. For the other one, okay, hold on, just let me think about this for a second. And Gamork still has the big one on its legs?
Yes.
I mean, on its back?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Titus is going to start moving in sort of like a wide circle around the situation that is where Nulls and, you know, the attackers are, and he's going to slowly make his way towards Gamork and the bigger one. And as he's doing that, he's going to use a bonus action, activate an assault drone, point his finger at the one that hasn't been damaged or hasn't been attacked,
right,
with a bite, and say, "Get him, boy!" And he's going to make a melee attack, excuse me.
Which you can do as a bonus. Now, just as a quick note, the one that was bitten is not, is hurt for sure. The one that's just been blown away by Jaraxxus's sprite beam is extremely hurt. Mm-hmm. So you want the hurt one that was bitten or the extremely hurt one that was beamed?
I want the extremely hurt one that was beamed.
Got it. Okay.
Let's just go with that.
All right.
And they're going to make I'm going to make a melee forging attack.
Okay.
So
I love it. Let's see it happen. This isn't another rig expansion, right? I'm just making sure that it's not using the
same. This is assault drone here.
That's what I figured. I figured it was its own separate thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not allowing me to set it up in chat right now. It's weird. Or into the window. Anyways, so basically, on a hit with that, it'll be a 1d8 plus the forging ability modifier. So give me 1 second.
Ah, that's cool. It's like spiritual weapon.
Yeah. How about a 8 not hitting that?
Unfortunately, yeah, not so much. Sorry, that would have been awesome, but no luck. However, the healing was pretty clutch, Titus, for sure. Okay, you were moving around in that way as we did that. Speaking of our direwolf, at the beginning of Gamork's turn, you can see that Gamork kind of grunts in what sounds like pain, and then continues the assault upon the one below him. 9 will hit. So... The one on the ground, to be clear, looks very hurt now, since a dire wolf is like just savaging it. So at the moment, that's exactly where Gamork is staying. Helpful that Gamork has removed this one sort of from the fight in the process. Okay, now the other bad guys are going to get to go. So the one that has been bitten is going to attack you, Fob, and I think the other one, even though it was hit by the Sprite Beam, because it's right near you, it's going to stay on you too. They seem to be, again, trying to coordinate. So they're going to try to attack you. So this one is going to attack you twice with its short sword, Fob. And we are looking at... That first one is definitely going to be a miss, which is... yeah, so 7 is going to miss, but I assume that a 21 hits?
The 21 will hit, yes.
Okay. All right. So that is going to be... All right. The normal part of the attack would be fine. It's the other attack, which is being done clearly in coordination with the other one, that's the problem. You are going to take 15 points of damage here, Fob, as this thing cuts into your scales.
Okay, and I had 2 temporary, so I take 13.
Yep. Now, the other one gets to attack. And again, they're clearly staying on you. And so makes hit their own... Ugh. Ow. That's a 18 and an 18.
Those both hit.
Okay. All right, well, let's do the one with the... Oh, maybe. 5. That's... That's 11 points of damage is that first one.
Okay, so Fob's down.
Man, all right. And then the second one is another... That is... Okay, so that is a total of 13 points of damage, which means Fob is sitting at -6.
But that's a failed death save, though, because that's an attack after Fob has gone down.
It wasn't Fob that went down. It was Nulls that went down.
No, Fob just went down.
I went down on the first attack, I believe. Yeah. I had 7 hit points.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's a good point, actually. Right. So, actually, yeah, if you went down with the first... No, because it was the first one that hit you was the second one, the second attack. Yeah, so... Okay. So then, right. So what did you just say?
So, Fob... 2 people are attacking Fob right now, right?
Yeah, so one just went down. It was the second one.
The first one did all that stuff.
Hit.
Second one... The second person did 2 attacks. Yep. The first attack brought Fob to 0, and also had an 18 for the second attack. Yeah. Whatever damage would be done would cause the first death save or failure.
Oh, you have the first death save.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So -6 and 1 death save failure. That's right. They are not going to... Well, we'll see whether they continue on this one. We will find out. Yeah, every time they hit like trucks, so to speak. Conveniently, Fob, it's your turn.
Oh no!
As you hit the ground. Now, before you do anything, let me be clear to chat as well. Now, if Fob rolls a crit miss here, that's 2 death save failures, and that's it. That's death.
Oh my god!
So, if there is an inspiration forthcoming from someone, this might be a good time to consider using it. If you would prefer not to lose our humble lizard folk.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, thank you, Zeal. Wait, Zeal, is that a good luck inspiration, or have you...
Yeah.
You can do it! I mean, does anyone have an actual inspiration?
Oh,
I'm gonna roll. Here we go.
Okay.
I rolled a 7.
Okay.
So
that is a failure, but it is not a crit failure.
Okay.
Okay.
That's so bad.
Fob is in big trouble. Okay. All right. So... Now, the one that is on the ground, I think both channel point inspirations were used for this month, Triffid. We had them, I think it was Prince Justin used one and someone else used the other. So I'm afraid they're not available for this, I'm sorry to say. Okay, so the one on the ground is going to stab out, or try to stab out, at...
Gamork?
Yeah, at Gamork, and is going to connect. Okay, well... Gamork has been hit a couple of times. It is Dora the Explorer variety. Yeah, exactly, Zeal. No, I appreciate that. Okay. So, Gamork again grunts in pain, and you can see that Gamork looks pretty hurt, although the one underneath him looks extraordinarily hurt, so they're both hurt. Jaraxxus is not a good situation.
Nope.
So
Jaraxxus is going to move forward and make sure that he's within 30 feet of his friends.
Yes.
And then he's he's going to cry as a bonus action again. Okay, but these guys all look really injured.
Yes.
Jaraxxus is gonna like almost roar. He just like shouts outward, and his hands are shaking, and he pushes his hand outward and is gonna do another Sprite Beam. He has other options, but he's gonna hang on to them, and so we're gonna try another Sprite Beam here.
Okay, using it on the. I assume you're not using on the one that Gamork has.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna use it on the
one you beamed before, or the.
Oh yeah, let's do the one with the mark.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Spring point. So there's two ways, Zeal. If you sub to the channel at the tier 2 level, you get an inspiration per month to use. If you support the Patreon at $10 or more, you get an inspiration that you can use as well during the course of the month, or the channel points thing. Okay, and
yeah,
let's see.
Probably not.
12. It wouldn't have hit the guy on the ground. It does hit. It does hit them just.
Yes. Okay. All right, 11 points of damage.
You blast him into next week.
Yes.
So he
see
goes
you at the next
flying
session.
back, and hits a mushroom and sort of sinks down the stalk of the mushroom.
Amazing.
And lies in a heap, which means there's one of those left, and then the one that's on the ground. What do you want to move anywhere direction?
Just as long as I'm sure that I'm within, let's say, 25 feet of everyone. Yeah. I just move a little closer, but I don't want to be up in everyone's grills.
Okay, that sounds good. You can do that. All right, that brings us to Nulls. Now, Nulls, you are conscious but prone. You can stand up if you wish, and then you can do whatever you want to do. You can see, even as you kind of look around, that Fob is lying like right behind you and looks in bad shape as well. So
if I have bonus actions, how would I know what those are?
I could tell you. So on D&D Beyond, do you see a tab that says Actions?
Yes.
So if you scroll through that, scroll down a little ways, it actually sorts everything your character can do, including bonus actions at a certain point, it'll say.
All right.
Titus, you're on deck, by the way.
So one of my bonus actions is Healing Word. So, okay, this is...
Seems like you're
smart.
No, so I actually have a level 2 Healing Word, and then I have a level 2 and a level 1 Healing Word, right? So I can use one of those as my bonus, correct? And then I can do something else. So I can do Healing Word twice and then something else. Is that correct?
Can't do Healing Word twice. You can do healing because you can't heal twice with the same using the slots. You can heal once, either using a second level or a first level. You can do either one, and then you can do something else, but you can't heal twice. You basically you generally can't cast 2 spells on a turn, basically.
Okay, so I'm confused because I have a first level Healing Word and I have used up no spell slots for first level.
Okay.
And I have a second level Healing Word and I have 3 slots for that, and I've used up 1 with Thunderwave.
It's just that you can, in a single turn, you can only cast 1 spell like that. So you're choosing, do you want to cast the second level version of Healing Word or the first level version this turn?
Right.
So let me make sure that I have everything straight.
Johnny's trying to say something.
What's up, Johnny?
Wait a minute, but she's got it as a bonus action. That means that she could cast that and something else.
A cantrip as an action, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, it's so the Healing Word is a bonus action. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Right. So if she could also do something like Vicious Mockery, which is an action.
As long as it's a cantrip.
But Vicious Mockery is a cantrip.
Right.
So.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. All right. All right. Sure.
I'm trying to understand the state of things. So Fob is unconscious, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
All right.
Bleeding out.
Fob is unconscious. Which of the assassins are left?
There's one on the ground that Gmork is dealing with, and there's one that hit you and then hit Fob that is still up. One that, well, you didn't see Fob bite it. You could just see that that they are in bad shape. And that's the only one that's left that's near you, is one of those smaller, slightly smaller ones in a cloak.
Okay. I am going to end up attacking that one, but I need to make... I have a couple of cantrips I could use.
Okay. And you could, Healing Word as a bonus action and then attack. You could certainly do that.
Right.
If you wish to do that.
No. I'm going to do that. I just want to know which attack I'm using.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm trying to figure out which one is nastier. Because I have Thunderclap and Vicious Mockery. No, Thunderclap would be dangerous for everybody else, so no, I won't do that. So I'm going to... Nals is going to heal Fob.
Okay.
Okay. So...
Are you going to do the second level one or the first level?
Yes, second
nice.
level.
Okay. Oh, really?
Wow.
Oh.
1 + 1. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, but the good news is that Fob starts at 0, so that means, Fob, you have 5. So,
Yay!
again, you're conscious. Remember, again, Fob, that you still have those 2 death save failures until the end of this combat. So let's try to keep you from going back down. That being said, you are back. You are not up. You're prone, but you are conscious.
And now...
Where's your sense of adventure? Use Thunderclap. It's those sense of, I don't want my lizard folk rogue to die.
Yeah. Who's little small boy who came at us? That little small boy. With a little slicey.
They're right. They're right there. And...
That one? Who thought he was something and ain't never been nothing? That one? That one? That one. That one. That one.
Let's see it. I can't wait to actually see this happen.
Ah, God. Of course it is.
Oh.
Well, okay. First, let's see. Yes, let's see what we've got. Oh, well, they did not make it. So it only took the point, but although actually, no, wait a minute.
Oh, and I should say too that when I eliminate something with my mark, I get to move the mark to something else. So I'll say I'll moved it to this guy. Not that I would have done more damage, but just so for next turn. Anyway.
I want you to make an insight check for me, please, Nulls.
Okay. Nope. Oh, 10. That's better than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, this is not a difficult one because you're used to having used this before. You don't think that this thing paid any attention to what you just said. You're not 100% sure it even heard you.
Oh, and you're dumb.
Now it's like, no, I'm just kidding.
And
okay.
you're dumb.
So, Nulls, you actually can't really move anywhere because you've already used your movement standing up. Besides that, you're standing in front of Fob, which maybe is a better thing at the moment. So, with that said, Titus, you are up next. You can see one small guy and then the big guy on the ground with Gmork on top.
One second. I need to look at the detail on Assault Drone again. But for my action, what I'm going to do... actually, let me ask you this question. So I'm moving towards Gmork, and he's got the guy prone, the big one prone.
Yep.
I got Fob, and I got Nulls in front of me with the other guy that Fob has bitten.
Yep.
What is the approximate distance am I looking at here? Because I'm skirting the combat a little bit and trying to angle towards Gmork.
Towards Gmork. I would say, if you're asking how far you are from Gmork doing this angle, maybe 15, possibly 20 feet.
What about Nulls and
probably, well, because they're in different, they're like the same lateral plane, so probably the way that you're moving, it's pretty close. You're probably about 15 or 20 feet from each of them, just in different directions. So.
Okay, let me do this. Let me do my action first, and then I need to look at the assault drone real quick for bonus action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use bolster.
Okay.
It's an activation time of 1 minute or 1 action. It's 30 feet range, lasts for 8 hours.
Okay.
Here's what it does. You inject the stim into your allies, providing a temporary increase in toughness and resilience. Choose up to 3 creatures. Each gets a hit point max and a current hit points increase for 5 for the duration.
Very nice.
Wow.
So I'm going to provide the Nulls, Fob, and Gamork the boost.
Okay, so that means Nulls at the moment has 21 out of 36 bolster HP, basically. And you said, I'm sorry, you said...
Wait a minute, you said 21 out of 36?
21 out of 36, because you get +5 to what you currently have, which was 16, and +5 to your max, which was 31.
Okay. That was the part I was confused about.
You see what I'm saying?
The 36, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then Titus, the other two were which? Who else? I'm sorry. Sorry.
5 to Fob, so Bob's going to go to 10, and with a maximum of
25.
25.
Yep.
5.
And then whatever Gamork's hit points are, Gamork is going to get 5, and 5 max.
And y'all on D&D Beyond can actually click your max health, and there's a thing that says override max HP, and you can change it to be 5 higher. Because it's not temp, it's like...
Where is this?
So do you see where your health is, your HP?
Yes.
You're going to click it.
Yeah.
Do you see something that says override?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so just type it in there.
Yeah, type in 5 higher than normal.
And remember, this is an 8-hour thing, so it will last for a while, but once you take,
Wait, what is happening?
Yeah, it's definitely worth
okay, I did the wrong side. So max HP modifier, and then override max, what is that supposed to be?
Well, you choose either one. They're giving you 2 options. So you can override the max and make it 36, or you can have a max modifier of +5. Just depends on how you want to type it in.
Okay, because now I'm at 4 and 4, which is very wrong.
Yeah, no.
While
everything is borked. Wait a minute. Okay,
that's okay.
Now,
While you're figuring that out, I'm going to let Titus take his next one while you're figuring that out. Go ahead, Titus, and let me know because you were looking at that assault drone, right?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Why, thank you, Dragon.
So
Zach does indeed have a great background, and the lighting makes him pop. Go ahead, sorry, John.
As a bonus action, the assault drone is going to move because it was over the previous one that was that has just been blasted by Jaraxxus, and now it's going to move towards the other short one.
Yep.
And it's going to attack. And so I'm assuming that one's within 20 feet of the last position.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so it's going to move in and it's going to do a melee forging attack again. Give me 1 second. I'll roll that.
All right, sounds good. It's assault drone doing some work.
Assault drone.
It's much better than a pepper drone, you know what I'm saying?
A pepper drone?
Oh, yeah. Assault.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, my God.
You were a little slow on that uptake, man.
Wow.
But anyway, unfortunately, that assault drone... Isn't that the second 8 that it rolled, actually?
It's the third bad roll I've gotten, but yeah.
Don't be jealous. What's up, Golden Drake? Yes, it was a assault drone. There you go, see? Sadly a miss, I'm sorry to say, Titus. But again, very, very, significant nonetheless in terms of the bolster. That's going to be useful. Okay. So, and Titus, you're still you were already starting to move in that direction to get to where you were, so we're all good. Okay, so
yeah, I'm still moving to Gamork, so yeah.
Okay. So Gamork again on his turn is going to grunt in pain, and none of you are used to having heard these. You've heard roars and growls and everything else, but you have not really heard many, grunts of pain from Gamork in the past. But something obviously is bothering it. But nonetheless, he will chomp down, as my good friend Tren would say, chompy. And yes, you'll be happy to know that he ends what is left of the larger cloaked figure's life. And so you hear this sort of like, and then nothing. And then Gamork sort of turns, looking even more fierce than usual, and faces it. But even then, you can see Gamork is breathing heavily. There's obviously something wrong with Gamork. Okay, and that leads to the last remaining enemy, who is going to, let's see, he's probably going to attack, I think, Nulls. But yeah, he's going to attack Nulls, still with 2 attacks, but is not going to be able to do the mega damage before. Although, if I continue to roll critical hits, that's not going to be useful.
Is that a crit? Okay, Jaraxxus is going to use...
I can. Oh, good.
So Jaraxxus is going to use a reaction. I save it for moments like these.
Okay, good.
So, the type of cybermancer I am is the director, because social media celebrity, yes. Dr. Jaraxxus.
From content creation's heart, I strike at thee.
Yes.
Influence this.
So my ability is called Perfectly Balanced, and it says I gain the ability to force order onto a situation. When I or a creature within 30 feet of me rolls an attack roll, saving throw, or ability check, I can use my reaction to make the d20 roll a 10.
Nice.
I can do this after the die is rolled.
Okay, great. So for that
no
first,
crit. Just
so for that first one, then we're looking at a 14 would be the one that would go towards you, Nulls. But a 14 is going to hit you, right?
Yes, because it's 13.
13, right? Yeah. Okay. Now the good news though is that it's much better than crit.
Yeah.
And it's not doing the amount of damage it was before because it doesn't have his friend around. So that is going to do a grand total of 10 points of damage to you, which puts you at 11 out of 36 of this bolstered healing, if you see what I mean. Okay. All right, and that's it for that guy. Fob, you are now, still prone, but you could again stand if you wish, and see the situation. There's one bad guy left that you can see.
I do wish to stand and hit this thing with my sword.
Okay. Helpful that it stayed within range, but it has done that for its benefit, which is hurting it now. All right, you may do so.
So I lost my character again. There we go.
It's just a basal part of his personality. Very nice.
Does an 8 hit?
I was looking at the 13, darn it. I was going to say, no, an 8 does not hit. Sorry, Fob. Alas. 13 would have.
Well, I'm going to do one more Hungry Jaws since I get 2.
Let's do it.
Great. Da-dum. Da-dum.
Yeah, for sure. 18, it was 7 points of damage. All right. Starting to look extremely hurt. And again, Fob, don't need to make a check now to see this exact same unfocused expression on this one. Which I guess this is the same one that you bit before, actually. But but still, just not even, you would think that it would be like crying in pain or doing something. And it's just sort of like kind of almost aimless and yet obviously still hurting. Okay, so you were doing the Hungry Jaws, which means I think you're staying right there, I assume, within range of it.
Yes.
That leads us to Jaraxxus. One of these guys left in bad shape.
All right, I have it marked with my symbionte mark, and I will use my Sprite Beam. And right now, the Sprite Beam is just pure code, and it's all forward slashes. And that's what I hope to do.
HTTP!
Oh, God. All
well,
right.
See, that's what happened.
You can't do a thing about that.
Yeah. Yep.
So it goes astray and forward slashes into the grassy mushroom floor, and that's all I can do. And I think Jaraxxus will shout to try to keep this one alive for questioning, and that's my turn.
Okay. That's going to lead us to Nulls. So Nulls, you heard that. There is one in bad shape cloaked figure left.
Wait, so Jaraxxus is trying to keep this one alive?
That's what Jaraxxus yelled.
He would shout out, "We need answers from this one."
So.
But who, if you kill it, you kill it.
I mean, I see the usefulness of that. It's so. How would you what would need to be the circumstances for it to end up to be questioned? Is what I'm wondering.
You can.
Because
in other words, how would you incapacitate them? In other words,
yes.
You can choose to try to attack and do what we would call non-lethal damage. So imagine it as if you were hitting them like with the hilt of your weapon or like the flat of the blade or something, in a way to sort of knock them out, as opposed to just killing them. And they have 7 points left, so you would have to basically, he's already pretty weak. You could also try to intimidate him and being like, give up, and you could do that too. That's another option. Okay,
so how would I intimidate them?
That is a full action to do that. And if so, you say, I'm going to intimidate them. You give me some awesome Null's line about like, you will pay dearly, or whatever you want to say. And then they have to make basically you as an intimidate action, you're basically going to roll it's a charisma check essentially, and it's an opposed roll, so you see whether they will respond to your intimidate. But it is a full action, so if it doesn't work out, then you just have your movement left.
So here's my concern, because I don't think intimidating them based on everything we know is going to work.
That is a thought.
I don't know that if one is left alive and incapacitated that we could actually get anything out of them, because they seem to be kind of brainwashed. Maybe the brainwashing could wear off, but something's going on, and I am not sure that we can get anything out of them. So
all good points.
They're also very lethal, and so I would like to try Vicious Mockery again, and if they're left with, like, a hit point left and, they crumble or whatever, cool.
Okay.
And if they die, whatever.
Okay.
So again, you're still here? You? Well, they're still here.
They're still here.
So once again, they let's see. Looks like they do not make their save, and yet it feels to you as if this one doesn't seem to respond at all to that. Like you would expect, like you would expect something Null's like, shut up, or growls, or an angry or something, or sort. But you just get nothing, just sort of a dull nothing.
And I have an action left, right?
I think, because Vicious Mockery is...
a cantrip.
Well, but it's an action, right? Is it an action? It is a cantrip, but is it an action or a bonus action?
It's an action. Healing Word is the bonus action.
Yeah, so then, unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to... you would not be able to do... You can move, and you could do a bonus action, so you could actually use Healing Word on someone else if you wanted. But you couldn't attack.
So I used the second level Healing Word before.
Yep.
Would I be able to use it again?
Yeah, because you have how many slots left?
Or no. So I still have 3 slots. I'm wondering if I can use the first level one, because I haven't used any slots for that.
Sure, you can do that.
And I have a 1 bonus action left of that.
Sure, you can do that.
I'm wondering whether to heal Fob or Gamork. Where is Fob sitting at now?
I think right behind you.
No. Health-wise, I mean.
Oh. I think Fob,
right now Fob has 15 out of 25.
Okay, and
so Gamork might be a better choice.
Gamork is more injured, correct?
I think so.
Yeah. So let's heal up that good boy.
Okay.
The bonus action.
Alrighty. Okay.
Great.
All right. So
is that the healing word that Null says? Good boy.
No, Null would not dare call Gamork a good boy to his face.
Yeah, Gamork
he knows better than
that. It's a bad boy, maybe. Okay. All right. Gamork sort of shakes his fur a little bit as he feels that the effect of that healing word. Okay, make sure you mark off that slot. Good stuff. Out of Nulls. Are you moving anywhere, Nulls?
Wait a minute, it's a bonus action.
Right, but you used your cantrip, which was the full action, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I'll figure it out one of these days. All right. Am I moving anywhere?
Yes.
I will be taking I'll be moving back.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
All right. You were able to do that, and that leads us to Titus.
How's this last guy look?
In bad shape.
This last. All right. Bonus action to attack using the drone in a non-lethal way.
Okay.
Trying to incapacitate.
Okay, fair enough. I'm imagining Luke fighting the, you know, the training droid on the Falcon, like basically that.
Oh my God! What did I do?
I think you have to have a talk with this assault drone. Maybe it really thinks it is.
I have to have a talk with random number generator.
Yeah, maybe it really thinks it is designed for condiment like distribution. Right?
No, I am a salt drone.
Your sodium content will be overboard.
All right, making a ranged foraging attack using laser blast to do the exact same thing.
Okay, you're like, no, like this.
My God, here we go.
Really
I love the idea that Titus just canonically has a drone that can only dispense salt.
Yeah. And then this one of the drones like, oh, that's what you meant.
Yes.
All right, that is definitely a hit. Ooh, NACL attack, exactly.
Yes.
I like that.
All right, so it's what is it? It's radiant damage 46.
Whoa.
Wow.
So 17 non-lethal damage.
17 non-lethal radiant laser damage.
I'm trying to. I really am trying to.
I'm going to blind him until he just passes out.
You could laser his leg off.
I think I should.
I could cut the legs off. That's totally fine.
I'm like, can you have a non-lethal laser blast? All right. Well, I will. Hey, salt and battery. Yeah, pretty much driven. All right. What I'm going to say is this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to allow.
Don't you mean battering?
The battering. What I'm going to say is I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to say this is going to be lethal soon, but not immediately. So like you basically sear the side of this one, and he drops to the ground. And we're going to take us out of initiative here, and you can see as he sort of hits the ground here, that he's sort of lying on the ground, and then you hear him, and this is the first time you've heard him say anything, or them, I should say. Where am, the pain. It's the first time you've heard him say anything.
Titus is going to rush up immediately and to determine what he needs to do to stabilize his wounds so that this guy does not die.
You don't think you can stabilize him to keep him from dying. You think you can stabilize him to keep him alive for a little longer, though.
How much longer do I think I can keep him alive for?
Maybe a minute?
Gosh.
Long enough to question.
What happened?
Jaraxxus is going to approach, and is sure to be using his recording unit, and he'll just interrupt anyone else who's talking, and will say, "Who did this to you? Who sent you?"
Jaraxxus is going to get interrupted by Titus, and Titus is going to say, "He's not reacting to our technology. There's something up about that. Focus on that."
Technology? What do you mean? What? Where? I was going to. There was the realms. I was going to the realms. I was going to the realms.
Where are the realms?
Point
us to them. Maybe we can get you there.
The celestial realms. I was the sanctum. I went to the sanctum, and there was a voice in my head, and I was supposed to find you. They were Not dead yet, but not in good shape.
Oh, okay. So
Who
Draxus.
sent you?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Who sent you?
Voice in my head.
Male? Female? Could you tell?
It was a higher voice. Doubled. And by the way, Fob, I'm assuming you're there. If you're looking down, the sort of unfocused thing is completely gone. And you can see that you were looking at what looks like a fairly young, the features seem somewhat feminine, perhaps, twilight elf. And sweat and blood and all that all over the face. But they look up and they're like, Spirit Caller, I was in training, and then the voice, and then
Draxus says, "Have you seen Nihilestri?"
Heard the name. Spirit Caller also. And then reaches up and like grabs onto probably Fob, I imagine, because Fob is probably the closest, and just says, "I'm sorry," and then falls back and expires.
Nulls is going to immediately use Speak with Animals to communicate with Gamork.
Okay. And Gamork, how creatures burn in the blood.
You got hit with that dagger, didn't you?
It poked me before I ripped out its throat.
Nulls is going to go up to where Gamork is and take that dagger.
Okay.
And also, is there anything else to loot off of that body?
So you find on each of the bodies, there is a short sword on each of the small guys. They have hand crossbows, and they have 6 bolts each, 6 crossbow bolts each. They are wearing no identifying information or anything like that, but they are all Twilight elves. The one on the ground that Gamork was like obliterating is the one that had the dagger, and also had a crossbow just sort of hanging at his belt. Also looks like a Twilight elf, and all of them obviously dead. All of them with cloaks. None of them with sort of identifying information beyond that.
So I actually have a crossbow, but no bolts.
Okay, well.
So I'm going to take them bolts.
Yep, that's 18 bolts for you then.
So
Great.
where do I
You would go to inventory and then manage inventory, and then search up bolts.
Okay, because I don't see immediately where I can do that. So, Gamork, were you poisoned?
It's possible. A coward's move, I would expect. You creatures find ways to win through trickery what they will not through a real fight.
Are the cloaks that these people are wearing, this is not the right word, unanimous, the same?
Yes.
And are the clothes that they're wearing the same, or did they cloak to look the same?
The clothes are, well, so yes, but the answer is a little more complex. Each of them is wearing underneath it a kind of purplish blue robe, which does not at all seem in keeping with the black cloaks. They're all wearing what I just described underneath, and over the top of it, they all have these black cloaks.
And we're still pretty close to the troops' tent, kind of.
Ish. I mean, you're about 5 minutes walk.
Oh.
Because you were almost out of the district,
right?
Well, not the district, the field.
Right.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Draxus will remove the cloaks from all three of them and kind of fold them up and put them over his arm. And then he'll point down at the three and say, "My guess on this is that this one said something about the Sanctum of Spirits and being a spirit collar. These robes look like something a type of spirit collar might wear, and then maybe the cloaks were when they were mind controlled. Someone must have put them in these cloaks and sent them to us."
Nals lets everybody know that Gamork has been poisoned, specifically. I don't know if anybody has the ability to remove poison or not.
I don't.
Jirac just shakes his head and says, "We can try to rest for a bit."
Titus will move over to Gamork, holding his hand out just gently, indicating that he means no harm, and then use minor remedy on them.
Oh,
okay. And yes, as the end of the poisoning happens, you can see Gamork's breathing eases and sort of like looks at you. And I think it's fair to say that this may be one of the first times, Titus, that it is not sort of like growled at you or hit you with a paw. Instead, just sort of looks at you and slightly bows its head, like just like a nod almost, and then stands straighter, and then says to you, Nals, "Apparently these ones are interested in finishing you all off. You've attracted attention."
Well, would you be interested in helping us finish them off?
"I do not wish for my blood to burn without answer." And he literally he sort of looks over at the body, and one speck of blood just lands on the body of the one that he was, and then he sort of turns away and takes a few steps away.
Titus is gonna return to the. He's gonna kind of like come back to the center or come back to the group as a whole, and look to them and say, "We should get the constable and have him out here looking at these bodies. I think these might be some of the missing elves, and he should be able to confirm for us."
While we do that, I've got a question for both of you, since you have those fancy gadgets on you. Can you test the poison on this dagger?
With time, not immediately. I'm not equipped to do that in the field.
Same.
Well, let's tuck this away for further use, shall we? Just make sure nobody catches us with it.
I'm also not sure if we can trust the constable, but more so that the constable themselves seem to be under surveillance. So honestly, maybe bringing them out here outside of that building with the weird thing in the ceiling is a good idea.
That was my thinking too. Let's see how they handle themselves away from the buildings and how they answer who these people are.
What's the name of Elu's servant? I'm blanking on that.
Oh, Elu's servant is the sprite whose name is, hang on a second.
I'll race you.
It is Rel.
Dang it, I just found it.
Okay.
It is Rel.
Do you think Rel could identify any of these people? If we don't trust the constable, at least maybe we can get some answers about disappeared elves from her.
Maybe. What makes you think she would know? She would know who these people are. She's just the assistant.
Well, but she has been keeping up with people disappearing, and she certainly doesn't trust the constable, and she knows about the magic here better than we do.
Right.
She may know the answers that we can get without having to ask the authorities.
The only hiccup with that is that the Whisperwind estate is back across the city, and the constable is right over there. And I point at the bridge that's, 1,000 or so feet away. Maybe a little more, but...
We could ask Gmork to go back and find her. Or he could carry me back there, quickly.
Yes.
Or, are there any of those trees around here?
Not here. A lot of fungus, not many trees.
Well, do we know what the fungus does?
No.
Can we try to see what the fungus does?
Would you like to take a piece of the fungus and eat it?
No,
Okay.
but I would like to talk to it.
I see.
I'd like to talk to it.
Okay.
Because fungus got roots everywhere.
That's true. We had this discussion back up in the forest, in fact, about fungal roots. Okay. Well, are you just going to talk to it?
So Nalls is going to very carefully walk up to the fungus and say, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'll try anything once. Rel, if you can hear me, we've had a little scuttlebutt today, and we're wondering if we may have found some disappeared elves. Can you get to our location and help us out? We'd appreciate it. Goodbye.
Okay. You say those things. Where is the party planning to go next?
Probably to the constable, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, as the party, and you're leaving the bodies where they are.
That might.
Oh no! We should not do that.
Yeah, maybe one.
Why don't we
person
leave
should
Gmork?
stay. I don't know about a strangely armored blind direwolf being alone by itself with other people. I think one of us should stay.
How about the one who actually can communicate with the direwolf right now?
Okay.
All right. So Nalls is staying with Gmork. Titus, is that all right with Titus? Because I know Titus is also trying to connect with a. Sorry, you're muted.
Somebody's got to stay and somebody's got to go. I'm happy to go.
Okay. And so, with the party intentionally splitting itself, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just a party split joke. All right. As Titus and Fob and Jaraxxus head over the bridge to find Constable Bramblestalk, Nalls remaining behind with Gmork and the three bodies, we are going to take our break. I was going to do this earlier, but we were in the midst of a combat. So we are going to run tonight. Normally we would stop at 10:30, but we're going to run here until 10:45, if that's cool with everybody, since we started a little bit later. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. You should take that with us, chat. Take his chance to get up, stand up, hydrate, take a break, take a deep breath, all that sort of thing. You're watching the incredible crew represented by Johnny Pittman, Toya Kristen Finley, Kat Rambo, and Zach Clay, as we are on day 22 of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, Shadows, and Twilight. If you like what you see, please cheer, because if you cheer in the channel using the official cheer command, that stuff will go to benefit the players. So please do that. Otherwise, we'll be back with you at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Until then, everyone, think about other condiment puns, and we'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Hold tight. Let's remember where I am. All right. Welcome back, everyone. We are returned and ready to go as we head back over to reveal the crew, and we are back and ready to go with day 22. And we will be running chat for 1 hour. We will finish at 10:45 Eastern. So the party has managed to fight off a very no-joke ambush and is on their way to deal with Bramblestock. So I want to pick this up with as they're heading over the bridge with Jaraxxus, Titus, and Fob, as you are bustling over the bridge quickly to get to his facility, to the sheriff's place. And when you get close to when you actually get close to the constabulary, you can see that the outside, which is not a very big building, you may remember, that there is a sign which has been hurriedly scrawled onto a piece of wood and is hanging on the basically the handle of the door.
What does it say?
And it says, Constable Bramblestock away on investigation, back soon. And it looks like it's like not, you know, like not very in order. You know, it's been like not this does not look like official letterhead. Let's put it that way.
Titus is going to look back to Fob and look up at Fob and Jaraxxus and say, the little sprite? Shall we go retrieve her?
It's a bit of a walk back. We could. But we could also... Jaraxxus looks at the constabulary building. Listen, I'm not the type to break into places. But we were a bit, you know, unsure of what that thing was in the room. We could find out. Maybe. I kind of shoot a look at Fob.
I'm eyeing the lock. Arv, does this look like a particularly sophisticated lock? I am, after all, a rogue.
That is true. It doesn't look super sophisticated. You don't know about the nature of what either traps or alarms might be on it yet. You'd have to, you know, do particular checks to see. The bigger issue is the fact that it is kind of out in the open here.
Right? That's what, yeah, there's people going back and forth. So, like, you all would have to create some sort of diversion while I pick the lock. Like a bard performing would perhaps do the trick.
Or
what else is around the constable's area?
The constable is basically between. It's on a bridge between the Temple and Market districts, and if we go over to look at that, so the Temple district is. So the constabulary is basically right around here, right? And the sort of temples and so forth are more up this way. So the Palace of the Primarchs, which is where Elu and her mother Levia have gone, is up here. So where you are right here is basically just a series of small like shops and stores and things like that, and a couple of what you think might be like government buildings. There might be like an office of the tax surveyor and, you know, stuff like that, is what you would say around this area.
An alley in back of the building?
There is an alley in the back of the building, yes.
I would. We could let's just wander through the alley and see if we notice any convenient windows. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. All right. Are Titus and Jaraxxus doing that as well?
Jaraxxus says, if we are going to break in, I'm not so keen on leaving Nalik just to wait there while we get up to some trouble. she's just right over there. Should we head back and tell her what's up and get to her?
I didn't realize she was not with us.
Yeah, she's with Gamork because she was the only one who could.
Oh, okay,
looking after the bodies.
Oh, that's right. She's way back. Yes. So you don't want to break in. You want to go back and talk to her. I think that's fine. Works for me.
Titus.
Yeah.
Titus is in agreement. It's just going to go along.
Okay. All right. So you turn back around. In the meantime, as you are sort of sitting there, Nulls, with Gamork, Gamork has sort of, sunk to his haunches and is kind of looking down and occasionally just sort of growling slightly under his breath as he looks at the bodies. And then he sort of looks around and looks up in the sky or up at the ceiling that is reflected, and he says, "There's no air down here. Not real air. The pretty lights mean nothing."
So is this some kind of spell?
Perhaps. I know very little, except that Twilight Elves are not to be trusted. They spend their time worried about stars instead of worried about themselves.
Now,
so it is said.
I don't know how sensitive wolves are about their age, but I've never asked. How old are you, Gamork?
I am how you would describe a young wolf. I have seen 4 cycles, and yet within those cycles, I was reborn. And you notice, of course, obviously, he is, as he is described, blind. So he's just sort of like, his sightless eyes are kind of moving up and sort of looking, but he almost like, Nulls is sniffing as much as anything else, but somehow seems to sense the star-covered ceiling.
And, have you ever experienced anything like this before? I certainly have not.
No. I have not felt a place like this before. But I do not like it. Give me open space and air. Not this smell of rot and decay.
Rot and decay?
Can't you smell it? The
Well,
smell of growing things, of mold, spores, and other such things.
the fungus.
If that is what it is, I smelled it in the forest above, but much stronger here. Ooh. We have pause for a moment. We have a raid from Grimbeard Adventures coming in. I have raided Grimbeard a few times. Thank you, Grimbeard Adventures. Also, hi, Prince Justin. Good to see you, the wrongly ineligible Prince Justin. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the raid, Grimbeard Adventures. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Hello, LOL gamers. Welcome to day 22 of Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks, as we are continuing with our campaign, and the party is in the midst of a complex investigation into some disappearing Twilight Elves. I hope you folks are doing well. Thank you, Glitch Games, Bard Girls. Welcome, welcome. And thank you, Grimbeard. I hope you had a good session today. Can we get a shout out for Grim... Oh, we already did it. Thank you, Triffid, very much. Yes, definitely follow Grimbeard. Runs some interesting games on his channel, and particularly a lot of cool tabletop stuff using a very neat virtual tabletop as well. So thank you, Grimbeard. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. So, anyway, yes, so says that he smelled it before.
Fungi have a nexus. They have a heart. Can you sense where the heart of this network is down here?
It extends, but these are just the shoots. The real heart is past the water
past the water.
There. Up over there is where the feeling of the beating heart is. And Gamork is kind of looking off in the direction of where you know the palace and like all that stuff is located. At least in that general vicinity.
Is that kind of in the area of the Sanctum of Spirits?
It's in that general vicinity, yeah. Part of the problem, though, is that everything is to the northwest of you, so it's kind of like everything else. But yes, it is in the direction of the Sanctum of Spirits as well.
You've met Rel. Do you trust her?
I trust nothing that flits about and willingly lives here. I do not fully trust even you.
Well, baby, that feeling is mutual.
That is why I have respected you. It is because you are not foolish enough to trust other creatures. So, I have some belief that you are sensible. But these things down here, they spend their time in contemplation of the cosmos. I prefer to contemplate my paws on the earth and the feeling of the dirt between my toes, not the beating heart of a phantom thing.
And what if this is just one giant trap, a dream that you can't escape?
You are the dreamer. Should you not tell me? At which point you see that, for some reason, the crew is heading back in your direction, Nulls.
Well, hello there. Gamork and I were just having a little chit-chat. It seems that he does not trust all the fungi down here. And the heart of it, the network, the brain of it, if you will, might just be in the area of the Sanctum of Spirits.
Well, the constable is not at his office, but we were thinking of going inside anyway. I give a smirk at Fob, and then I look at Nalik. I don't know what you think about that.
But the constable is not at his post?
More that we're going in when he's not at his post.
Well, are you wanting to check out that strange structure?
Mm-hmm. And also, there's probably information about the investigation he has kept from us. Let us be clear, though. This is definitely illegal, so we should, be mindful of that. But
the illegal part is not what I'm concerned about.
Okay.
But I don't want to leave these bodies. Right. I have a feeling they will just disappear.
Right.
If we leave them.
Push them into the water, and they will disappear from view. Then you need not be concerned they will be found. What is one more floating dead body among the stars?
Well, floating dead bodies get kind of hard to identify after a while.
Unfortunate.
Couldn't Dr. Zeraxis do the magic little picture image thing that he does with his and take pictures of the bodies?
Oh, I've already got that.
I
turn and look down and say, I've been recording this whole time. But, yes, I think from what the wolf says, it would be a good idea.
What about autopsies? If we put them in the water, that would tamper the bodies.
Oh. Well, we can't carry them either. I'm willing to let them go. We already have a lead.
Gamork, is that fungus network under the water as well?
I cannot smell below the depth of this lake. I feel it more than smell it, though. Everything here is connected. I do not know whether through these mushroom things or not, but it is there that they originate. And again, he's sort of moving his head in the same spot that you saw before. Whether it goes below this lake, I cannot say.
Well, whatever we do with the bodies, I think whoever sent these people knows that we have already disposed of them.
Draxus shoots a look at Titus to check in.
Titus kind of takes in the situation and is breathing really. You can tell in his body, there's a lot of physical stress that this is causing him, and he kind of looks to Draxus and he says, "I don't have a better solution. I can tell you, I would feel much better if we got somebody to put eyes on these people and tell us one way or another whether they're the lost. Pictures are not going to be trusted, largely because these people are scared or superstitious or just we really should have somebody take a look at them if we can. I really feel strongly about this, but I'm going to go with a group and whatever choice they make."
For what it's worth, I do agree with Titus.
All right. I see a couple options at our disposal. Certainly our dire wolf friend is hearty enough to carry a few bodies on its back, but we'd have to figure out how to make them not look like 3 bodies. And also, it looks like JLC has subscribed.
Thank you very much for the subscription, JLC. It's good to see you. Thank you for the 23 months of support. Thank you. And by the way, I should say to the folks who just came in, if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for all the follows, by the way. And thank you, JLC, so much for that sub. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year. And anyone else, any cheers given today, official cheers in the channel will go to the players. So if you like what the players are doing, and I am, you should definitely cheer officially using the cheer command that Twitch gives you. They would very much appreciate it, and so would I. Okay. Oh, no problem. Lotwook is actually at the Klein event last night. Totally understand you were an hour away. My wife had to get up at 5 for work. I'm so glad you had a great time. It was great to meet you in person. And yeah, I'm glad you were able to make it. One of my Connecticut, local Connecticut contacts who was able to come to the Klein to meet Zach and myself yesterday. So thank you, Lotwook. I'm glad you had a good time. Thank you so much for being there. And it was nice to meet you and your wife. Okay, so.
Yeah, Johnny, what were you about to say?
I was asking the question about how far the tent is away.
The tents are probably about 5 minutes walk from here. I mean, brisk walk. If you're carrying bodies, it might be a little slower, but
I'm not concerned necessarily about that right now. What are they still up? Are they still there?
Oh yeah, the tents are still there.
Okay, then Titus is gonna look in their direction and look back to Draxus and say, "We should ask them to come and take a look. They have no allegiance to anything but themselves and the people they lost. If nothing else, they can help. Help maintain the bodies until we can find somebody else."
I was thinking about them, and if they don't know them directly, I think they would like to have some idea of what happened to their friends.
Titus turns to Knowles and say, 100% agreement. And they might be able to provide us with somebody else that we can ask who's concerned. If we don't trust that the constable is even somebody we can talk to, even in an official capacity.
All right. Let's go to the tent then, I think.
Okay, now you're going to... How are you going to put... Are you just going to, like, lean the bodies over Gamork? Or how are you planning on doing this? Tie their cloaks around their ankles, connect them...
I don't think we should...
Weekend at Bernie's them.
Oh, you wanted to leave them and just go to the tents and bring them back? I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood that.
I think that we should bring the people back and then like have them help us figure out what to do next.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so does that mean Malik, or can you stay here again?
Oh, I always have a good time with my friend Gamork. We'll be fine.
All right, we go to the Karios Troop gallery.
Okay. Now, you may remember that when you had first arrived here that they were packing up their stuff. So when you get there, you notice that there were two of them that you ran into. Miko, who was the gnome, and then and that was the one I believe that you commissioned for the
That's right.
For your statue. And then City, who was a sprite. And you can see that Miko is sort of like struggling with this one tent pole on top of one of the tents when you arrive. And oh, you're back. Oh, well, I thought you were leaving now to try to find out more details about Naya and the rest of them, no?
We were, but long story short, we got attacked by some elves that we think may be connected to everything going on.
You got attacked by elves?
Yes.
That's terrible. Well, what happened to you? Well, you're all right, I suppose. Well, where are they? They need to be brought to justice. I hope they're in jail.
They are, they're dead.
And, who's dead? Says City, kind of rounding around the corner or around one side of the tent. Someone's dead?
Jaraxxus will recount everything that happened to them in the past 30 minutes.
And so when you finish this tale, City's like, That's terrible. And Miko says, I told you this place isn't safe anymore. We need to get out. And she kind of waves Miko off and says, well, what can we do? Probably Constable Bramblestalk should be talked to, I think. I mean, he'd be the person to go to, right?
Jaraxxus looks at Titus. Oh, you're muted.
All we the saw effect was, is even funnier with just the paper, though.
We're the subtitles, right?
Like, yeah,
I want
that would be
right, Johnny. I want you at one of these cons that we go to mutually. If it's not PAX, like if you go to Gen Con or I want you to go onto the floor, find a custom puppet maker, and let's get this real puppet made. I want to see some straight.
There is nothing wrong with the current puppet. There is nothing wrong with the current puppet.
Kermit D. Littlefoot here.
Yeah, cute. Titus looks up and says, "The good constable is on an investigation right now, and I'm not sure we actually trust the good constable right now. But at least informing him would be important. But until that time, we were kind of hoping that you might be able to take a look and see if you can identify these people so they can reach out to next of kin."
And so City's eyes get very round and wide. Oh, and kind of looks over at Miko, and Miko shrugs and says, I don't know that we're going to know anything, but we can look at them anyway, I suppose. I mean, and City says, do they look terrible? I mean, I'll do whatever. But just, I'm not a warrior, you know. I don't. And Miko says, it'll be fine, probably.
We'll just show you their faces, I guess.
And City nods very solemnly. City looks very much like Toya's dog right now, actually. That's really perfect look like Toya's. Like, it's very perfect.
Okay, I think...
Titus will speak up and say before they all begin to move off. Just so you know, we're traveling with a rather large wolf, so please don't be alarmed. And don't approach him. Yeah.
And so City kind of looks around, and Miko just shakes his head and is like, should have been out of this camp a long time ago, and mumble, grumble, and sets off with the rest of you, with City flitting behind. And within only a couple of minutes, Nalls, you can see the rest of them returning with Miko and City flying along behind. And when they get close, you can see City kind of slows down and just sort of, is that them? And Miko says, well, it's not anyone else. And kind of walks over a little bit and then kind of looks at the three faces. No, I don't. They don't look familiar. They're just... There's thousands of Twilight Elves here. I don't recognize these. And come on, City. Do you know any of them? And City kind of flits over. No, and then she says, oh, but wait, is that... And she points down at the clothing. She says, is that blue? Under the cloaks, did you... Oh, you took the cloaks off, right?
Yeah.
They're all wearing... Well, those are spirit collars. All of them. And Miko says, why would spirit collars be here? I mean, there's been more of them around, but they all hang out near the sanctum. I don't know, but that's what they are. You were attacked by spirit collars?
Yes, and what are spirit collars?
And she kind of gives you this sort of incredulous look, and then Miko says, well, they're pretty new here, remember? She says, oh, well, I suppose that's true, yes. Well, the Twilight Elves down here, well, you see, they believe that they are trying to reach another plane, the plane that they came from, and they have the power down here of this spirit magic. They use this power from these primordial spirits, the spirits that are all around in the environment that you can see. And many of them, well, the spirit callers, they specialize in this magic. And they recruit some of them into their ranks when they're really good at it. You know, like Naya wanted to be one of those. She was always really empathetic and connected with people, and they thought that she might be good for it. And so you have to, if you want to do it, you have to train and then become a member, and then you become part of the Order of the Spirit Callers. And everyone down here loves them because they're the ones that make it possible to, well, keep things safe, I guess, and to keep everything, well, the stars lit and the sky above. And at this point, Nalls, this is just at the very end of your Speak with Animals spell, I would say, with Gamork. But Gamork can say, to delude themselves. But of course, all that they hear is just like, you know.
City.
Yeah.
The spirit callers, do they ever talk about hearing a voice?
Oh, I don't know. The spirit callers, well, usually what happens is they go for training, and then after their training, they come back. And I don't remember them talking about voices. I've spoken to a few of them. They're all pretty nice. And Miko says, nice if you want to spend your time talking about anything other than where you are. Sometimes they walk around in our tent and they look at some of the art, a spirit caller, and they'll talk about how it reminds them of the fabric and the weave and all this stuff. And I ask them if that means that they might buy something. They just look at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know.
And you said that they keep the lights on, they keep the stars shining above their heads?
Yes. How was this city running before the spirit callers? You said that they are relatively new?
It was a Oh, they've been around for a while. But this used to be just before everyone came here, it was just sort of a dark, empty cavern, and some say that there were monsters, creatures down here too. When the Twilight Elves got here, they cleaned it all up, and they made it, look all pretty and nice, and they ate it so that it reminded them, I guess, of their home with the stars above, and that's what they did, and then they since then have been in touch with nature. It allows them to speak sometimes with some of the trees, and allows to provide food for the people down here, and all that kind of thing. I think they have a name for this realm. Call it Umbral. That's the name of it. The realm is called Umbral, and in this spirit realm is where they get all their power. And did you say there have been a lot of spirit callers? And she looks over at Miko, and Miko says, I had heard there'd been more spirit callers of late that were being summoned, yes, just trained, but that's not much of a surprise. Sometimes they have to get more, sometimes they have to get less. They need to keep the numbers at a certain level. But they almost never come down here, like I say, and when they do, it's just to look at art and talk about the stars. But I don't know these ones specifically. If they are spirit callers, well, that's not the way they used to do things.
Certainly not. They, the last one that we spoke to before she perished seemed like she was in a stupor of some sort, like the attack on us was not even their intention.
Well, maybe they finally lost it. That's what happens when you spend your time thinking of everything other than where you are. And City says, Hush, Miko. You're not exactly like that. If you were so practical, you wouldn't be an artist. And Miko's like, if I were practical, I wouldn't spend time with a sprite.
Well, that's interesting, though, because our direwolf friend here said something much the same.
And Miko says, well, I don't know. They're always strange, but they've always been, well, flighty, but, well, they're always not violent. I don't ever remember hearing of any of them attacking anyone. And City says, no, they wouldn't attack anyone. That's not how it works. I've never heard of any of these people attacking anybody. That's strange. Maybe they just, I don't know, weren't cut out for it? They snapped?
I think I've heard enough. But I look at everyone else. Well, oh, yes?
I was going to say Titus just shrugs and...
Okay. Draxus says, we're not sure what to do with the bodies. We were going to talk to the constable, but he's out on an investigation. And so, I don't know if you know of a place that we could bury them. That might be best, actually, instead of throwing them in the lake, because then at least we could dig them back up if we needed.
I'm concerned about the fungus, though. What will the fungus do to them?
And City kind of looks up at the fungus and sort of looks down at Miko, and Miko says, well, no one exactly knows. The fungus is supposed to be a natural phenomenon, but sometimes it does, it always kind of seems a little weird. But the truth is, fungus grows pretty quickly, but I don't think it breaks things down too fast. I've seen stuff that's been left in there, even little organic things that have been left, wood and so on, and they don't degrade. I mean, if you left it here a week or two, I don't know what would happen, but it's pretty thin, shallow soil. If you put them underneath there, I don't think that anything would happen to it for at least a couple of days. Of course, you'd have to bury them and hope that nobody saw you putting these bodies, because then they might think you killed them. And I mean, I guess you did actually kill them, but Gamork. and City kind of like nervously, slightly hovers over a little further away from Gamork.
How far are we from the bridge that leads to the constable's place?
About equidistant between that, maybe a little bit further to get to the bridge. Maybe you're like, 8 to 10 minutes from the bridge and 5 minutes from the tents, something like that.
So nobody's really going to see us. From
not now. Distance. No, there's not really anybody here, especially because the tents are closing up.
Okay.
It's true, Dragonspear. Fungus does just grow on you. Yeah.
All right. Well, my vote is still to bury them for now.
Well, City and Migo, thank you so much for your help. But I don't think you want to be here to witness whatever we decide to do with the bodies.
You've got that right. Good luck to you. Miko turns around, hops it and heads the other way. And City kind of hovering, and she says, do you think that whatever happened to them, do you think that happened to Naya too?
It's our best hypothesis.
But maybe not yet. There's still time.
Just, well, be careful and just try to find her, okay? She wouldn't want to be like... She just kind of turns and flits off. You notice Gamork kind of follows her flight. And then kind of growls something under his breath. At this point, Null's the speak with animals thing is expired, but you can slight perhaps chuckle.
So as soon as they're gone, Nulls addresses everybody and says, Gamork finds this place to be very artificial. Let me pose you a question. If you were to trap a group of people, make them think that they weren't in a cage, and have them follow whatever delusions you need them to, why would you do it?
Well, it seems as though they're trying to get back to this umbral place. And also they're, if this is tied with the murders, then there are people dying. And so that begs the larger question of, sure, if you're not only caging people, but then also occasionally killing some of the people you've caged. I don't think we know enough yet, but...
Well, this fungus... Gamork seems to think it's very similar to what we experienced in the forest, and I'm inclined to agree with him. That voice... What if it was the voice of that individual that we faced?
Oh. The one that... Yes, when I traipsed about in some mushrooms, I remember that. These don't really seem the same kind of mushrooms, do they?
Not that you're a myconid expert, but no. From
right.
What they don't look to be the same as the type that were up top.
Okay.
They're much larger for one thing, and more sort of purplish, darker, but that also, the upper ones were literally exposed to the open air, and these ones are underground the whole time. So.
Jaraxxus finds a shaded spot out of general view and starts digging with his... I have a large tool bag, but it doesn't contain anything in it other than what I already have. So I will ask if anyone has a shovel.
Bob has no shovel, but will help dig.
Okay.
So if you start to dig, can you dig it? Exactly. As Fob starts to dig, Gamork kind of, and he sort of shakes, and it's basically his paw sort of feeling, and he pads close, Fob, to where you are, and kind of puts his paw down on the ground so you can feel what you're doing, and then almost kind of sort of bumps you out of the way, like doesn't attack you at all, but just sort of bumps you out of the way and is like just, you know, digs at this ridiculous pace, like just dirt flying up behind until within maybe a minute that this, you know, there's a pretty good sized hole, and then turns and sort of looks at or like in your sort of with its sightless eyes looks in your direction, Fob, and is like and then sort of pads away.
And yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say after Gamork, yeah, well, I started it for you.
Titus is going to look around, you know, at everybody's, you know, sort of gear and look at the bodies. Should we wrap them? Try to preserve them in any way?
Maybe.
I've got a blanket and some other things that I can use to wrap one of the bodies.
Okay. Maybe I keep one of, well...
Why don't you wrap them in the cloaks?
I was thinking, is there any reason why we might want to keep these cloaks and, like, act like we are one of them at some point?
Oh, that's an interesting idea. I like that. I like that a lot. Yes.
All right. I won't go so far as to take off all the robes and everything too, but the cloaks at least.
As long as there's no enchantment on those things.
Hopefully not.
What's an enchantment?
Well, very much like a spell, it kind of lives within an object, and when you come in contact with it, it can control you.
Oh.
I'm glad there's not one my size.
And so I guess we'll keep the cloaks, and I have a bedroll, and Titus has some stuff, so we'll use some blankets and bedrolls and stuff to kind of stuff the bodies in and bury them and put the dirt back, and then...
We should put a rock on top of the grave so we can find it later, just in case. I mean, I know it's a big hole in the ground, and let's be clear that there'll be a mound, but maybe, you know.
Yeah, we put a rock.
Okay. You can do that. And it's pretty quick, given the sort of lightness of the soil. Okay.
I'm gonna look expectantly at Nalls. And when Nalls says nothing, I'm going to say, aren't you going to sing them a song?
Oh, you want me to carry them home?
Yes.
So Nalls kneels down over them and sings something privately into each one of their ears. And then she stands and sings something else that's more for the, you know, the public ceremony of sending them off. Sorry, I've got to... Okay.
Yes.
I noticed. She's very moved by your claim. I mean, you know. Like
yes. But because if I could think of something, you know, I would sing it right now, but I can't. But basically, to the effect of that, we are wishing that they return to their ancestors in the stars of the Umbral Realm.
That's great.
Okay.
All right, should we break into a constabulary?
Yes.
All right. And we head to the constabulary.
Okay.
And we case the joint by walking entirely around the building in an unobtrusive way, like we're just tourists, kind of like la 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 la.
The back alley of it.
Well, when
do we have like a soundtrack?
Yeah, so, well, the thing about that is, before anyone wants to case the joint, you might want to know that when you get back to the constabulary, the sign is gone.
Oh, poop.
Ah.
Something happened?
He's back. He's back.
Well, shall we talk to him now?
We buried the bodies already and everything. Now he's gonna be like, I want to see them, and then we go back and we gotta dig them all up again. And
but you have the things, the little things with their faces captured in your box.
I do, but do we want to show him the technology?
I don't think he'd respond very well to that.
Oh, well.
I think we need to take him back out there. If... Oh, sorry.
What? Titus, you just stopped suddenly. What's going on?
I'm sorry. I thought I heard Bob speaking.
No.
Sorry. We should take him back out there. I know it's a lot of work, but if we can't trust him to trust our technology, then yes, he needs to be out there. I don't think we're going to get the kind of response we want, but we'll know what pressures are going on under him and who he actually reports to if something's going wrong.
Oh, I'm sure he'll report with a quickness.
That's what I'm counting on.
You wrapped those bodies in perfectly good blankets and bedrolls, and we buried them, and now you want to dig them back up. Is that what... Am I hearing that correctly?
He's welcome to dig them back up. He can do that labor. Or he can have his... I don't know. But
minions.
He should see them. Right, there you go. Minions. Deputies. Lackeys.
Jaraxxus turns the doorknob and opens the door.
Okay.
After you.
When you enter the room, which is much like it was before, with this desk, there is a large leather-bound, or some kind of, you think leather-bound, but some kind of book that's at the top of it, and is currently closed. But you do not see, this time, Bramblestock behind the counter.
So the room's just empty.
Right.
What else is in the room again? Can you describe for us?
So you basically have one or two chairs specifically against the wall. You have the counter or the desk in front of you, basically, really more of like a counter, and which is behind it where Bramblestock was standing before, and you have this book that is that I mentioned that is on top of the desk, currently closed. There is some strange above the door, basically in the corner of the room, is some kind of strange, like box-like structure that's sort of kind of poking out from the corner. It's not very clear what it is, but it's somewhat high up. It's above the door, and that's basically what you see. So
I'm gonna go look at the book.
Okay. So the book, the sort of top of the book, just looks like just basically is sort of flat brown, no markings really of any kind. When you touch the book, Fob, you notice that the book the cover seems to be closed and like not opening easily, even though there's no obvious lock or anything like that on it. So you could try to like force it, you could try to figure out how to get around it, but it seems to be not, like opening the way you would expect.
I'm going to take out a knife and I'm going to hold it in my hand, and I'm going to say to the book, I'm going to use this if you don't open.
Trying to think about an intimidate check on the book.
The book opens up.
Let's turn another page.
Yes.
Okay. So the book does not respond.
Damn it. All right.
All right, now, so are you going to try to pry it open?
No, this is clearly a magical... and I'm going to turn on and go, like, this is clearly a magical book. I don't want to fuck with it. I don't like magic. I mean, magic's fine with other people, but, like, so somebody take this magic book, and I will just sort of drop it on the floor.
Okay. When you drop it to the floor, Fob, it doesn't hit. It goes, like, within about 6 inches and then just hovers there.
And I point to it and say, see what I mean?
Now, no one's tried... The only thing you've tried to do is just open it normally, but no one's tried to do any other checks or anything else on it yet.
Jaraxxus is going to look up at the thing in the ceiling. Is it still there? Is it basically like this... I mean, kind of looks like a camera dome?
Yes, although it's not... It's more... It's a little bit more angular, but yes, basically.
Jaraxxus will say... Bramblestalk? Bramblestalk?
No answer.
And then he'll sort of whisper and say... I'll stage whisper here. I think we should not do anything untoward while that thing is still active.
The book?
I point at the thing, the surveillance thing in the ceiling, or at least what we think is surveillance.
Well, you think it's surveillance. To us, we think it's just some sort of ornament, so...
No, this was something that we saw the last time we
visited.
Okay. Yeah. So he...
Okay, then I won't.
Yeah, the last time we visited him, he was cagey about information, and when he looked up at this weird, like, convex object in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will... Well, I'm not going to touch the book again, but I will... Yeah, I'll say, yes, you're right, and hold my hands in front of me and stand there.
So, Nulls also does not want to touch the book, but I do want to investigate it.
Mm-hmm.
And try to get some kind of understanding of what magic is animating it.
Okay. What specifically are you going to try to do? Anything specific to try to do that?
Would Arcana make sense?
You could try to make an Arcana check to get a sense, of whether it's radiating magic, but you're pretty confident it is without even having to do the check, Nulls.
Okay.
You have a pretty good sense that is the case. You might be able to get a sense maybe of how much magic, maybe, but
okay.
You're not sure if that would help or not.
I'm trying to think of what would make sense. Because, well, here's specifically, I would like to know, like, who uses that book? Who wrote the book? We don't know what the content of the book is. Because we tried to get, like, a peek before, and it failed the last time we were here. So I really want to know what the content is, and I don't know, like, what skill would be best for that. Maybe would history? I don't think history would work.
Yeah, I mean, right now the physical issue is opening it.
Right.
Presumably.
So would just straight up investigation work to see if there's a way to open it?
You could do an investigation to see if you can notice something, sure.
Or would sleight of hand make sense to see if I can, like...
If you actually wanted to try to open it, yes.
Yeah, sleight of hand?
You could try that. Sure.
All right.
Okay, so as you sort of begin to sort of like play around the edges of it and sort of see, you think there's one spot sort of halfway down the pages on the side of the book where there seems to be a little notch. This is going to be way dating myself, but used to be that old big paper dictionaries would have these little notches, so you could go like A, B, C, and you could like go to the right section and pull them up, right? So you find this one section that you think you could do that. So Nulls, but to actually like, you're going to have to physically reach in and pull to do that, in that little notch, or use something, a dagger, a crowbar or something, to pull instead. But at least there is that notch there.
Could I use a dagger to try to open the notch?
Yeah, sure, you can try. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do I need to what skill?
Then you would just do is, if you're going to put that in there, so you made the investigation thing. Actually, sorry, you did sleight of hand?
Yes.
So once you can actually put the dagger in there, then I just need a strength check from you to see whether you can pull that thing free.
My regular old strength skill.
I mean, I guess technically athletics, although it seems kind of silly to athletically open a book. But,
is that the one I should use?
Don't ever skip knowledge day. Yes.
Athletics.
Brain day. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Nice.
Okay, 17. So you hurt, and then there's a popping sound, and the dagger almost goes flying out of your hand, and the book slams, and opens to 2 pages like flat across, like left hand, right hand page, and there is writing on both pages.
Can we read it?
Sure. On the left hand page, it reads in common, actually, being followed again, strange magic, not palace spies, and then there's a couple of weird looking like doodles or something, and then spirit callers, ? Contact Shaenan, Shaenan, is that how you spell that name? As soon as possible. So that's on the left-hand side of the page. On the right-hand page is a bunch of information relating, apparently, Nulls, to you and the rest of your party. It's a lot of the stuff that you had said when you came and spoke to him the last time. And there's a note below it that reads, guests of the lady could be dangerous or in danger. Trust, but with caution.
Can everybody else see the pages too?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
If they go over to it, yeah.
And do we have access to any other pages?
No.
Okay. So,
this seems to be the most recent page, if you had to guess, that was open.
This is surely an interesting read.
This another time this Shaenan has been mentioned at the sanctum. He already told us to try to find her.
Well, at least he seems to trust us, at least for now.
Right.
So, perhaps we don't show him the bodies.
Well, why would we not show him the bodies if he does trust us?
Well, he's teetering between the two. Maybe we show him... Well, what if we get him more evidence first? He did tell us to go talk to Shaenan.
True.
And also, he's not even here.
Yes, that is also concerning. You suspected that he would be here when we returned. Why was that?
No, we did not. We suspected he would not be here and that we would break in.
Right, but when we got here...
right.
Here, you thought he was going to be inside.
Yes. When we first went, there was a sign on the door that said he was out investigating and would be back. And now that sign is gone, the place is unlocked, but he's not here.
What if he did not leave that sign?
But then who would have taken it? And then unlocked the door? Is there a deeper part of this office, like a trap door or another door, or?
Not one that's evident. You could try going behind the sort of counter desk area and see. You'll still be in full view of the thing up in the corner, but you could certainly do that if you wish.
Jaraxxus, I mean, we've already done questionable things in front of this thing. So Jaraxxus is just going to... It's not low enough that I could touch it by just reaching up, I assume.
The thing up in the corner?
In the ceiling in the corner? No. So Jaraxxus
it's not like 20 feet up, but you would have to like...
Jaraxxus gets a chair or something to prop himself up.
Could do that.
And I will
right against the wall.
Stand on it and touch this thing and use the prime technique, analyze device. I discover the commands, workings, and electronic and or mechanical functions of a automaton, construct, device, machine, or vehicle. I gain basic knowledge on how to activate and operate the device as well as its functions. I need to make appropriate checks to use advanced functions.
And specifically, what kind of thing does this work on?
Automatons, constructs, devices, machines, or vehicles.
Okay. This does not meet any of those descriptions.
When I touch it, is it squishy?
It is not squishy.
Is it seem to be made of glass?
Possibly, or some strange equivalent of it.
Can I try to twist it?
Well, it's more like set into the... I mean, you could also try to, like, it'd be like a thing that you'd have to...
Oh.
Like this?
Yeah, I try to remove it without bludgeoning the thing.
Okay. When you try to remove it, you suddenly hear...
It's Gamork. No?
And,
okay.
And Gamork like is growling like heavily. Like whoever's standing closest to the door, which might be Fob after the whole situation with the book, Fob, outside the constabulary you hear woo, woo, woo.
We should maybe get out of here. Sorry.
And that's where we're going to bring our session to a close. No. Yes, although it's going to be a lot of fun to start. This will be very, very easy that we can actually start at the very beginning with a woo, type of thing. Very, very fun stuff. Magneto said, "Now the time has come to gather our forces and run." It's the Popo, oh no. We shall see. We shall see. Interesting, though, because the investigation is definitely thick. I mean, first of all, you all did a good job at managing to stand up against... These were three that were kind of punching above their apparent weight class because you put the two of them together and those ones were deadly. Two of you went down in that fight at different times, but fortunately you were all able to hold things together. Titus with some clutch healing in there as well. Jaraxxus with a major beam. And Fob and Nulls both. The Thunder Waves are really good. The Fob was like, multiple times with the fangs, with the hungry jaws. So everyone was doing their job, but man, they hit like trucks. And then once you defeated them, when all of a sudden you're like, well, wait, this one claims that they weren't even under control of their actions. Well, now we've stepped up in class even a little bit more in terms of the complexity of this. So the plot thickens, and even though you've gotten more clues, who knows where those clues are going to lead. I am going to start with the gentleman at the bottom right, who is actually to my left, but the bottom right of your screen. And that's Zach Clay. Zach, good stuff today from Jaraxxus. Some very good sprite beams in there. The symbiont mark was very big too. And then the interrogation, which all of you participated in, but sort of gathering all that information is something that had to be sort of addressed. And I thought it was really interesting that each of you were picking up your own little clues about something weird about what was going on with the way that they were fighting and how your attacks were or were not affecting them. And that also may have something to do with the overall investigation, how I put it together. So, and then, you touch the thing, started to unscrew it, and all of a sudden, I shot the
tried
sheriff.
to unscrew it and screwed us.
I shot the sheriff and did not shoot the deputy.
Yeah.
How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Felt great. Cool to be right next to the DM for it.
In the studio?
Cool. Yeah, in Winco Studios. And but no, a lot of fun. But the investigation, the mystery progresses. I liked interacting more with City and Miko. They're always cool, and the combat was good. Very, like on the edge. I mean, there was a point there where I think it was Fob that was at 2 out of 3 failed saves.
Yep.
So that was terrible, but also exciting. And so yeah, the drama's ramping up, and we have a lot of leads. We just have to find answers, it seems. So yeah, exciting stuff. The people will find me here, not here again probably, but back on the West Coast, here for Mysterious Peaks, but also for our vocalist, where we've started doing the Banner Saga 3, which has been a lot of fun, voicing characters for that. And then also on my own channel, where usually every Thursday I stream the Divinity Original Sin series with my friend Maddie, which has been a lot of fun. And then in other places soon, all over, that I can't talk about yet, but things are happening. Exciting, cool, crazy things. So yeah, that is me.
Yep, can confirm. Actually, and it is true that you might see Zach for part of Tuesday.
Oh,
So
yeah.
You might be alongside.
That's right.
Riding shotgun for that. So, but we will see about that. But thank you, Zach. Always a pleasure. Good stuff today. It was also a pleasure to have Kat back with us in the role of Fob. And this is as much, I think, because jokes aside, Fob obviously is quite effective in combat most of the time. This is the first time that I think Fob has gotten hit that much with these like super, like organized fighters who also apparently didn't remember, at least the one didn't remember being organized fighting, which is a troubling combination, it seems to me. Especially since Fob knows something about rogue-like fighting and sneak attacks and things like that. So all of that may seem to have some uncomfortable resonances for Fob in terms of like, that's being used on me type of thing.
Well,
how did you feel
about... There's a reason why Fob hides a lot.
Yeah.
And it's usually an effective, but didn't want to do that when, what was happening. Yeah, that was scary. I actually was thinking, wow, what if Fob dies? Because 2 failed death throws is pretty serious. Glad that we made it through. Always a lot of fun. I thought that was, tremendous fun. It always is. So.
Good stuff. Where will folks find you next?
Oh, where will folks find me next? I'm sorry. Online. I'm always online. And then I'll be at the International Conference for the Fantastic in the Arts in March.
Oh, nice. Down in Orlando. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, thank you, Kat. It's good to have you back with us, and Happy New Year again. Moving right up to the top right, Toya, Nulls also knew the experience of entering negative numbers although the first time for you, having to deal with that situation. But then also had, as always, the Nulls Gamork interactions are always, awesome fun to be a part of and to sort of see sort of laid out. And then also you've had this suspicion about the fungus, the voice from the woods and stuff like that is also sort of tied into things before. But then also the fact that it's clear that there's something going on that everyone else has picked up on as well. Something larger. And I loved the question that you asked Gamork about do you sense where all of this, not just specific to the fungus, but like where's the beating heart of all this thing, if it is all sort of part of this. And that you kind of as the dire wolf whisperer, so to speak, have been able to gather some interesting information from Gamork, which may also be incomplete, right? I mean, Gamork is not, does not have all expert knowledge, but can certainly feel and sense things, which Nulls always take seriously. And that means that there's an extra bit of sensory detail, let's say, that you're able to get as a part of this. And also a good thunder wave to begin, even though it meant you immediately were the target of the ire of these creatures. So how'd you feel about today's session, now that you have survived it, and where will the fine folks find you next?
Did not love almost dying.
No, can't blame you.
Yeah, but I mean, whose fault was that though?
The bad guys. Their job. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I also enjoy interacting with Gamork. I think Gamork is very wise, and Gamork should not be dismissed in what he does sense, even if, you know, it might come out as a riddle because, you know, he's an animal and instinctual. He senses things that nobody else can, even if it turns out to be magical or whatever. And clearly he seems to be a lot older than we might know, because he did say something like he was 4 cycles old, but who knows what a cycle is for him? So who knows all that he has experienced? So I was glad to get that information because I feel like it's a major, major clue with the fungus, and how everybody might kind of be in, let's use a word that Jaraxxus and Titus might use, a simulation. So that was kind of cool to find out. And also, I really enjoyed, you know, that last bit in the constabulary, even though, you know, Jaraxxus gets into stuff. He did say he would.
Sorry.
He would be getting into more stuff.
Sorry.
Getting into more stuff. But anyway, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm really liking the kind of detective work that we have been doing. Where will I be? I lurk on the interwebs, so I'm, you know, I'm not that easy to find, but, you know, if you'd like to check out what I do, you can go to schnoodlemedia.com, and if you're interested in writing for video games, buy my books. That's what I'll say.
Awesome stuff, and I'm glad that extra work more busyness has showed up for you,
Yes.
Which is a good thing, Toya. So always a pleasure to have Toya with us. And last but certainly not least, always a pleasure to have Johnny with us. I'm glad that Johnny was able to make it just in time for the fight, emerging to see people hitting hard. And also, I thought there was an interesting moment where obviously everybody kind of became aware at the same time that maybe these ones hadn't been totally in control of their actions. And I wasn't trying to be a jerk about it, but it really was not easy to do a non-lethal laser blast, you know, basically. But to the extent that they had to be, you know, taken out, you were given enough information to work with, but it meant that you were working with things. I've continued to felt like this group has done very well at understanding that stuff is, that you're not in over your heads, but like there's more going on below the surface, and it's always like, this isn't quite, not, there's more, what, you know, we got to get more stuff out, whether it's the Primarch's behavior at the beginning of the adventure, or whether it's like what's going on now in terms of what's happening in Celis. Not to mention some seriously clutch heals and a condiment drone. So that was also, you know, a positive that we didn't have before. How did you feel about today's session, Johnny? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Today's session was great. I think this is the first time Titus has actually been able to stretch his legs in combat and to be effective. Even if he wasn't hitting, he was healing in desperate and dire situations, which is what he is spec'd for. He is a combat medic at the end of the day, and that really worked out really well in this situation. So otherwise, yeah, it was a good old time. And the fine folks will find me next. Whenever I think we're the 24th. We're only doing one session next month because of scheduling conflicts.
I think that's right. I believe. I'll have to double check. But I believe that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's the next place you guys will probably see me. So.
Good stuff, and wonderful work in general from the players. It was really nice to get everyone back in the saddle today, and I'm hoping that we will keep that up and keep our momentum moving into February. So, chat, don't forget, as I bid goodbye to the players, please make sure if you liked what you saw tonight, please cheer in the channel, because those cheers are going to go towards the benefit of the players once we're able to accumulate enough to send out to them. For right now, I want to thank the amazing and awesome Johnny Pittman, Toya Kristen Finley, Kat Rambo, and Zach Clay for being great and awesome. And yes, February 24th confirmed. Awesome. And I will see you folks 1 month from today. Until then, everyone, thank you so much. And bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
All right, and that is going to do it for those. Although, as you can see, Zach's still here. I said goodbye.
I didn't leave the Zoom call. I didn't leave the Zoom call.
So what we're going to do actually is I thought of a couple of possibilities about where to raid. And so I had a couple of options, and that's always a possibility.
Yeah.
I thought about that. I thought about this.
Yeah.
As the guest, you ever thought about where?
I think...
Or I could just do a search for...
I think... Let's...
Let me exit out of this, too.
How about... I'm always up for some Baldur's Gate 3 action.
Okay. I have a feeling this crew might be as well. So we are going to do that. All right, so... what I would like to do is, first of all, this is how you do a raid. If you are not a sub, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts have landed, followed by Twitch raid. Lowercase Twitch, uppercase R, lowercase AID. If you are a sub, you're going to do this. Arvany Hype, and the Arvanauts have landed. Arvany Roar, Arvany Witch, Arvany Smug, Arvany Love, Arvany Blown, Arvany Crit Hit, Arvany Crit Miss, Arvany Cry, Arvany Ha, Arvany Better Than Cats. That one is not an emo. But you can do all that when you were brought over automagically to the place that we are going to raid. Also, if you like what you saw and heard tonight, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube. And again, if you're over on my YouTube channel, thank you so much for having watched us as we did our live stream. Please consider following us over on Twitch if you're over there. Discord is !ArvCord. Please join us over there. And for some of the folks that came over from Grimbeard Adventures, if any of this is sounding new, thank you for all the follows that I saw happening while we were going on, but you can do all this stuff too, so please consider doing that. Twitter is !ArvTweets, Blue Sky, !ArvSky, website arvanelaron.com. Financially, !ArvShop is the merchandise area. We can get stuff like, for example, I'm going to have hopefully stuff relating to things like this about Expedition for the Mysterious Peak soon. You can already get Eberron Oracle of War stuff there. You can get Shire Adventure stuff there. You can get General Channel stuff there. So we've got some merchandise over there that's cool for you and helps the channel. The Patreon right there, !ArvTreon, really helps us out too. It's what allows us to commission this awesome, amazing video that you're about to see again as we do our little outro and that music. And allows me to do things like pay the vocalists and stuff when they're on. So that all helps with the Patreon. This is great. I should just have like you and like do like a 3D version of you so you can just continually do that all the time. So you can do that. Subbing to the channel is also really awesome. That gets you those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. Plus, again, inspirations to help the players. And if you haven't already done so, please consider supporting us on the publishing side. !Icarus for my graphic novel from Mathis Arts. !Library, my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. We just ran part 2 of the adventure from that book last night. And also from Alligator Alley, which sponsors this campaign. And Greyshade, which is the Grey Assassin trilogy from Mathis Arts. Greyshade and Renegade, those first 2 books are already out. The audiobook of Greyshade from Trent Sparks is out as well. You can also pre-order the final book in the Grey Assassin trilogy, Heretic, which I'm working on as we speak. That'll be out in the summer of this year. And the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade, which will be out at the end of the year from Brandon O'Brien. And again, Alligator Alley Entertainment. Last but certainly not least, BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage. And we send the message that we will do so for others in the future in a similar situation. I'll be back to you folks. Don't forget Tuesday at noon Eastern for some Chant of Sennar, which is going to be the Patreon Field Chat Chosen Game of the Month. I want to thank the amazing mods, Dragonspear, Prince Justin, Triffity Mats, the best mods in the business. Thank you all for being here. Thank you as well to my Patreon supporters and subscribers, Dragon, Prince Justin, Triffid, Critchwitch, JLC for the sub tonight. Thank you so much for that. And thank you to my wonderful viewers. Thank you to Zero Sophia, Anime Wolf, Arcus, Bard Girl, Big Boss, Brian. Thank you to Cup of Tea, Cup of Tiefling. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Thank you to Kubi. Thank you to Flying Enemy. What's up, Flying Enemy? Thank you to Frosty DeFreeze, Glitch Games, Hilness, who is lurking. Thank you to Ibrahim, I saw before. Thank you to Jagtress, to Lady Arian, to Lotwook. Again, thanks for stopping by at the Klein event last night, Lotwook. Thank you to Luffy. Thank you to Manic. Thank you to Mark, to Mistress, to Mrs. Dunsel, of course, who's lurking. Same with Nonstop. Thank you to Regress. Thank you to the Spicy. Thank you to Tybrow Games. Of course, Video Store Cowboy, Yosharpia. Thank you so much again to Grimbeard Adventures for the raid. We really do appreciate that. You should follow Grimbeard Adventures. And last but certainly not least, thank you so much to the wonderful players. Thank you to Johnny Pittman. Thank you to Cat Rambo. Thank you to Toya Kristen Finley. And thank you to this guy, to Zach Clay, here and in person. By the way, Generation GMs, we're recording a new one of those tomorrow. We've got shorts and long videos out already. So if you haven't done so, go over and check out Generation GMs on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky if you want more DMing and GMing content from the two of us. Otherwise, thanks everyone for being here. Much love, and I will see all of you folks on Tuesday. Until then, as I always say, everyone, please be good to each other. And thanks to Alligator Rally for the sponsorship, and thanks to you for watching. Bye for now.